recording
What are
started.
down?
Alright.
Yay!
I finally fixed the... Oh, hold on. That's not all of roll 20, actually.
How do I whisper to GM?
I don't know. Good luck.
Do
Yeah.
/
Oh, W. There it is.
Actually,
Okay.
I have to... Let's just fill up the... Let's just fill that right on up. There we go. There's a link that's like, oh, join via this link. Thanks, Aurelio.
That's what his face looks like all throughout the campaign.
I bet it does. This is the little cat face with a paw to his mouth. Okay, so you all ready?
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
You are in the town of Tenby. It's roughly 12 o'clock in the afternoon. The sun is high overhead, and there's no shadows except those beneath your feet. Salvador gets out of the car after the engine finally stops revving, and he's almost immediately swarmed by people. You're besides a giant, like latticed iron like tower of some kind, suspended with some cables. The main portions of Tenby are to the east. To the west, there's nothing besides this tower. You're like on the edge of the city, if you want to call it a city. It's all made out of plastic and steel, and there's lots and lots of buildings, but not as many people.
So not as many people as buildings, or just not a lot of people?
Not a lot of people that you can see right now.
Okay, okay.
Does anybody choose to do anything, or should I carry on?
No, I mean, I'm good.
All right. Well, in that case, Salvador gets out and he crowds around these people. A few of them are kids, and he bends down and ruffles some of their hair and things like that. And he says, "Hey, how you doing? Nice to see you." Shakes their little hands like they're little adults, and I think it's really cute.
Cute.
And the woman comes up besides him. She's dressed almost exclusively in black with this big brimmed hat with a little, like, kind of sort of point on the crown. She's got short, cropped black hair, very straight, and she's got some pale features and very dark eyes, and she's saying something to Salvador, but you can't hear it very well, unfortunately. Unless you
Do I
guys
know
want
if
to
that's
try.
his wife? I wanna roll to listen.
All right, yeah, roll to listen.
What would that even? Perception? What would that be? Could I...
It's whatever you want to convince me it is. Perception sounds good.
Oh, it would be stealth because I move in close enough to hear them without them noticing. But that makes the most sense.
That's fine. You can roll whatever you want to. Hold on.
I
I'm
have
sorry.
-2 in wisdom, so I didn't want to.
Oh, I see. Hold on. I'm sorry. We're missing a player. GM, Nix, Aurelio. Where's Abram? Abram, are you here?
I'm trying.
You're not in roll 20, and I couldn't.
I know. I'm trying. It
Oh,
won't let me.
I
It's just my
see.
internet, but don't worry. It's
I'm
just
sorry.
the map, right? So I'll be there.
You're right.
And that's me.
There's nothing. There's actually nothing there. I finally got
There's
the
nothing on the
Chrome
screen.
recording, and there's.
Oh, okay.
This is the least roll 20 intensive session that we're probably going to have. I'm
don't
sorry,
worry.
Aurelio. What were you trying to do? You wanted to listen in on the conversation?
I'm using stealth to like sneak up closer so I can listen in on Salvador and his wife's conversation.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
You cannot confirm that, but all right.
15.
Okay, yeah, you just kind of meander. Do you want to take command of the descriptor, or do you mind if I?
No, yeah, I just stroll on up.
Okay, I mean, they're not really expecting anybody to. They're not really being super private or anything like that. So you just kind of mingle with this small crowd that's gathered. Some of them are just checking over the cargo, in the back of Salvador's car. But there's a few people. And then among them are this Salvador and the kids, and then this youngish woman. That now that you've gotten closer, you're pretending to pay attention to something else. You overhear her, and she says, very quietly, she's like, "Sal, I hate to break it to you, but we're missing another compressor." And Salvador says, "What? I've been gone for 6 hours. How did you guys? What happened?" And she says, "I don't know. We were just going about our business, and then when I went to go check on the water, the compressor was gone." And Salvador curses under his breath quietly.
Someone's been stealing, and it wasn't me.
Okay.
I don't say that out loud, but
Mhm.
I go back to the party and I say someone's been stealing stuff here, apparently.
The woman
Just in case you want to know.
The woman does not kiss him goodbye or anything like that. She just like pats Salvador on
Not
the
a
shoulder,
few. Okay.
and then carries, because she walks away. And then
Platonic girlfriend.
Salvador comes back over to you guys, and he says, "Hey, thank you all for helping me out back there. All right, that was pretty brave of you guys to be taking. Ooh, I'm a little bit shaken up, really. Still, just thanks for helping me get back here. Okay, and scavenging's a dangerous job, especially with Barkley and his little gang. And actually, to be honest, I was a little bit more worried about Lunaris. You see, I'm not really sure that I've ever seen them so riled up over scavenging before. And I mean, technically, scavenging's illegal. You're supposed to have some permits, but they tend to turn a blind eye as long as you're not taking anything too valuable. But I'm just glad that they didn't catch me on this little mission of mine. I would be a little concerned that they'd revoke their funding to this town.
Yeah, man, no problem.
Yeah, just thank you all. I mean, it sucks that you guys couldn't help me get that compressor I was missing. And he looks side eyes at Aurelio real quick, just
I hold up my hands and I lower my head.
flash of a second. And he says, "Okay, well, just thanks. Just I'll let people know who you are around here, and if you need to stay the night, you can, and I'll pay for it. And I don't know. I'm sure some people around here would be willing to do you some help for helping me out."
Actually, I had a question.
Yeah.
I left my motorcycle, or what's left of my motorcycle, back at this at the site,
Mm-hmm.
and I kind of need that back. Do you know anyone that would be willing to help me go back and grab it?
I don't think that you and I really want to head back there while Lunaris might be combing over the wrecks of that ruins, but if you want to, I can try to see if we have some spare parts. I can try to whip something together for you in the garage.
That's fine. I'll probably wait a few days before attempting to go back to the site then.
Alright, I don't know. Talk to Jacqueline. Maybe she can get, something thrown together for you. I think we can have some parts for a motorbike. It won't look pretty, but, I mean, it'll work.
Alright, thank you.
Yeah, she's just over in the, Here, you know what? I'll just write down the address for you. And he does, and he gives it to you. And it just says, 32nd, 4th Street. It's just to the west. Abram finally succeeded in breaking his way into the Roll20 server. Congratulations.
He wakes up.
Abram stops looking at the butterfly floating through the air.
Oh my god. Nick says her thanks and then looks at the address and decides to hang out for a little bit longer.
Okay. Hey, Abram, are you... wait a minute. I don't know if Salvador knows your name. I guess he was in the truck. Yeah, he knows your name. Abram, are you okay? Your shoulder hurting or anything? I mean, you got shot.
Abram stares at him for a moment as if not remembering what he was talking about. And then he looks at his shoulder. His shirt is bloody. Oh. I'll be fine. It was just one shot.
Salvador looks mildly perturbed, confused, a little off-put by that. But he just kind of slowly nods. And he's like, okay, well, if you do need anything, you can talk to Rosemary, and she might be able to whip something up for you to, make sure there's no infection or something.
Who is Rosemary?
Oh, I don't know if you saw me talking to her. She's the black-haired girl that you, earlier. She's an
Abram looks after where she had walked. Is she still in view, or did she disappear?
You see her walking away. She's wearing dark blacks and purples.
Mm-hmm.
She's got some various bags and stuff like that. Yeah, she's, I don't know. I guess you could call her the witch doctor, but she doesn't really like that kind of title. She's just an herbalist and apothecary. She's one of the old practitioners of the old practicants. I don't really think her ways are really familiar to any of us, but hey, she's got some more modern sensibilities, and she knows her way around a few herbs if you're looking for anything like that.
If anyone needs medical attention, that's Nyx. So he looks at Nyx, wondering if she wants to go see the medical lady, because Nyx had a few injuries.
Did
in
she
the
get
ship.
shot like 5 times?
She got like shot and stabbed and
Salvador looks at Nyx, the crumpled pile of flesh and blood on the ground, just folded like origami.
I mean, Nyx looks at her robotic arm first and foremost, checking for any like dents and stuff. She's probably gonna have to repair a little bit of it later. And then she looks at the rest of her body. Right.
Yeah, you're a little more than just the robotic arm there. Well, go check her out later, all right?
I mean, I spent like an arm on this arm.
That was really bad, and you should feel
I
proud.
hate myself.
Abram stares at Nick.
Aurelia just straight up punches you.
Salvador is disappointed emotionally. Okay, well,
How much damage do I do?
how much damage do you do
Wait, what?
I
for
punch her.
striking? You punch her in the arm, and you hear a snap as you break the bone beneath.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Ow.
That's my good arm. My bad arm.
I ask Salvador, where would you recommend getting some rest and some food and stuff?
Oh, talk to Gallon. He runs the inn. Over there, that big building, and he indicates like a larger kind of sort of building. It has a tall tower with like a bell on the top of it. Kind of looks like a church, but it's not really. It's about like 4 blocks away, which is pretty small in Tenby terms. It's the same direction
what?
that the
Nothing.
it's the same
Yeah.
direction that the woman was going earlier.
Gallon?
No,
As in like
gallon of what?
a gallon of.
A gallon of what?
He's a short and fat drink of water, really.
Just my type.
Alright.
I mean, his name is his name. You want to make fun of it, bully?
Uh,
I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah, just
I
head
was-
over there.
Okay.
I heard you right.
I mean, we're a small town. We can put you up for a night if you really need it. You help me out, I'll help you out too. Even if you
That'd
didn't
be
fail
much
to get
appreciated.
my compressor.
Listen. I tried.
All right, you guys need anything else? He claps his hands together and he's rubbing some oil back and forth. And
I'm all set. I'm gonna go talk to Rosemary, I guess.
all right, sounds good. Just let me know if you guys need anything else. I'll be in here at the garage. And he gets back into his car, and then he revs up the engine, and then it slowly drives its way into this large building besides the radio tower. And then the shutters don't close, actually. He leaves them open. And then he gets out, and he starts doing his maintenance and checking things over. There's a few bullet holes in his cargo carrier, and he's a little concerned about that, but you know. Okay, you guys are in the town of Tenby. Do you guys have any individual goals you would like to accomplish?
I mean, I wouldn't mind going to Rosemary as well.
Okay. You guys all 3 go together, or do you want to split up?
I mean, I'm going there anyway, so.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we all just go there.
All right. You all follow after Rosemary the way she went, and you almost immediately catch up with her.
Sweet.
She's not very fast.
She is not very fast. Abram, you stand like 2.5 feet over her. She's like 5 feet tall.
Oh my
Hey,
god.
I'm
Her
taller.
legs. Yeah,
So am
Aurelio and Nyx finally find someone that they are taller than.
I mean,
Um,
Nick's
I'm
always taller than me.
I'm taller than Aurelio.
You are taller than Aurelio.
If someone's
I'm
shorter
like
than
5'8".
Aurelio, there's a problem.
Oh my god, it's not a problem. She's very
Listen.
self-conscious.
5'5", okay?
She looks at all 3 of you crowding around her, and Aurelio, whom she looks up to literally. And she says, "Oh, you must be the guys that Salvador told me about." She notices by the blood all over you.
That'd be us.
Is it that obvious?
She kind of like squints at Nyx. Just come with me to my shop and we'll get you taken care of, alright?
Alright.
Thanks, ma'am.
Don't worry about it. We owe you a little something for making sure Salvador got back in one piece. He tends to get himself into trouble. You guys come
Bye.
across the shop pretty quickly. It's small and it's built into one of the alleyways, and it just kind of has its own little. It's a 3-story building, but the shop is the bottom part. It has a sign that hangs over the street in copper, and it's a little cauldron with some herbs like above it.
Oh.
And you guys are on a pretty bustling city street. There's a few other shops as well. You see like a Smith's, a grocery store, something that looks like a fruit stand, but you don't recognize any of the fruit as well. She motions to you guys to come in, but if you guys wanted to take your time and look at something else, she's not going to push you. Mostly she's just concerned with getting Nyx in before she collapses and dies.
I'm fine. Nyx goes in immediately.
Okay. Rosemary says, and follows after you.
Did you say we were passing by fruit?
Yeah, there's a fruit stand.
I mean, I'd look at that fruit.
All right, you look at the fruit. You see something green and spiky, something small and red with a little green stem on the end. Some yellows. Other things that you do recognize are like squash, potatoes.
Oh, I love the yellows.
the yellows. They're just called yellows, actually. It's kind of like oranges,
favorite
except they're
fruit.
yellows.
Oh my gosh.
And you see a thin little. You see a lot of like what looks like red reeds that are just bundled up into like fistfuls.
Is there someone working the fruits?
Yeah, you see a tall, lanky man. He's got some scruffy white hair, and he's just kind of looking at you and has his arms crossed. How you doing?
Hey, good. What are these?
Well, it's just a fruit stand. I mean, we're just selling some produce. Why, you want something? Good snack?
Yeah, can I just eat these yellows raw?
Yeah, you can have yellows. You peel them
how
first.
much
Try
are
to,
they
I don't
raw?
mean, if you want to eat the rind, you can, but I think it's a little bitter.
Okay, sweet. How much do I owe you for one yellow?
Quarter. Just one or a bundle?
Oh, how much is a bundle?
It's bundle is. Let's see here. Bundle is 5, but it's one credit point.
I mean, that sounds great.
All right, give me one, and I'll give you a bundle.
I give him a credit.
All right, he gives you 5. He gives you a bundle of yellows, and a.
It's 5. I got 5 yellows.
I got 5 yellows and a little like wicker basket kind of thing.
That's so cute.
I'm adorable. I'm like walking around in a little wicker basket full of yellows.
Mm.
5 yellows, and I got a wicker basket out of this.
Yeah, it's not very well designed wicker basket. It's kind of like the equivalent of a disposable plastic bag, but.
But I still got it.
You do have it. A plastic bag can go a long while. You can carry stuff in it. You can choke a fish. You can do a lot of things.
I could kill Abram with this.
You could kill Abram with it right now.
if need
You
be.
can't reach my head.
Jump, bitch.
I have to climb up you.
Like a monkey.
Inside.
I follow after.
Okay. Inside Rosemary's shop is this tightly packed together. There's books upon books, walls full of herbs and ingredients. It smells very strange, not necessarily unpleasant, just confusing. It's definitely an herbalist's shop. A lot of pestle and mortars are grinding away things. They're not just like magically doing this. They're automated pestle and mortars, and they're just like crushing things into. I suppose they're magic if you don't really know what's going on, but they're just like little grinding machines that they're pressing up some herbs into paste. She picks her finger into one and then sniffs it real quick and then like flicks off into the trash nearby. Nyx, come sit down here, and she motions to a chair behind the countertop.
Alright, and she sits.
Okay. She begins to take off your jacket.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and she just kind of like looks at all your various wounds. You've got a gash slice in like the upper part of your back of your neck from where the lance of the the sentry surveyor like glanced you. You have a few other nicks and scratches from diving and climbing and you're all sorts of adventuring wounds. And she just kind of like starts looking you over and cleaning up with a water rag that she dips into some water, pulls out some of the dirt, and then puts in some kind of various salves. They sting a little at first, but you feel a numbing sensation. There's a black cat in the corner watching you guys.
Seriously?
Yeah, seriously.
Like it's a real cat?
It's got 2 tails, but it's a real cat.
I immediately go over to the cat and I start petting it.
Okay, it doesn't like you at first. It kind of tries to get away.
Abram has a staring contest with the cat.
Roll for animal handling.
Oh my god.
I will, hold on.
Aurelio, also roll for animal handling.
What is animal handling? Wisdom. This
Yep.
cat's gonna hate me. Okay.
Rosemary just continues to put some salves into your various wounds and stuff like that. And she says, this might sting a little bit, but just, suck it up, baby. And then she slaps it in there.
It doesn't hate me.
Abram, you win the staring contest with the cat. Aurelio, it finally yields and lets you scratch underneath its chin.
Yes.
It's
We dominated this fucking cat
You
around.
definitely dominated this cat. The cat's two tails are like swinging up and down in like opposite directions. They just alternate swinging up and down and up and down as Aurelio scratches
What a
underneath
pretty
its chin.
kitty.
Oh, that-
Nick says to Rosemary, I've dealt with worse, as you can probably see. And she looks at her left arm.
Yeah, she just says, "Oh, I bet," and lifts it up. And actually, she takes your hand and moves it up and down the mechanical one, and just kind of like pulls on the various joints to see if anything is like clicking or locking and stuff like that. Nothing appears to happen to your arm, though it might still tingle from what happened to you on the cargo train with the object that you found.
Anything wrong with it, and I can probably fix it.
All right, if you insist. I know my way around some mechanical stuff too,
Really?
Eh,
How far have you studied?
well, you pick up what you can when you're in Tenby. Salvador is the real mechanic around here. Him and Jacqueline. But, somebody's got to make sure that the truck doesn't fall on his head, so eventually I figured out how to do some things.
You're not wrong. I've been a mechanic for, let me say, about 5-6 years now.
That's a long time. Where'd you study? Did you go from the, I guess they're calling it New Pavo now, huh? Did you study there?
A little. And then I traveled for a while.
I hear it's a nice place, but I've never been. Salvador's from there,
Not really. Maybe I bumped into him.
Maybe. He moved out here a few years ago after the incident.
Incident?
Well, I mean, the New Pavo station incident when the satellite station fell. Yeah, after that there was a lot of rebuilding efforts, and Salvador, I guess, got inspired or something, because ever since then he's been working to push west, make places a better environment for these small towns out here. This place used to be called Stanlow, actually. Little chief, tribal stuff. It was really quaint, if you ask me. I kind of miss the old ways. I think the chief is still around, actually. I don't know if you've seen him or not. He's really big. He's like a brick house, really.
I just arrived in town today.
Never mind then. Maybe you'll see him later. Anyway, here, let me just finish the bandaging. And she does. Don't take it off. She'll leave it on for at least 2 days, alright?
Alright, I promise.
I don't have any of that fancy stuff that the hospitals have, but this'll do you fine.
As long as it prevents infection.
Rosemary points to the two of you, Abram and Aurelia. Hey, do you need anything while you're here? I'll get one freebie since you helped Salvador out. Oh, Nix, by the way,
I have
you
a
are...
bullet in my shoulder.
Full health.
Rosemary kind of like nods, and she's like, "Oh, that's a little extreme, but okay, this will take a little bit longer. But you know what?" She cracks her fingers, and then like twists her neck around, and then she indicates you to sit down in the chair. Meanwhile, she goes to the windows and pulls the blinds shut. Well, I don't want people on the street looking in as I pull something out of somebody's arm. All right, it's bad for business. They don't want to see it. It's squicky. It's gross.
Aurelio covers the cat's eyes.
Nix, by the way, for all intents and purposes, you're back to full HP.
Woo!
Yes. Abram sits down. Rosemary like reaches into one of the drawers and pulls out like a medical like surgeon's like cap and puts it over her face. She doesn't take off the hat though, and she pulls out some very strange looking tools from another drawer, and they begin to glow with like a soft red light. She goes to take a syringe and inject it into your arm. I'm assuming, do you allow this to happen? It's a painkiller, she says.
He narrows his eyes, but just sits there.
Okay, she injects it into your arm and your upper shoulder begins to go numb. I don't usually like to do, like, open surgeries, but, I'm pretty confident. I need the practice anyway. and she starts like kind of cutting into your flesh and doing a little bit of digging with some scalpels, and she actually it like almost like magic. The bullet like actually pulls back out and just sticks to the tool that she has in her left hand. And then she puts it in a little pan, and then she has another tool that she starts to move around your flesh, and like some weird cold goop, some clear like fibrous ooze that she just kind of like flows into the wound and mixes it around with the tool, and it feels like a glue almost, and it just kind of pulls your flesh back together, and it doesn't feel very good. It honestly feels very strange and cold. But it does eventually come back. This is over the course of several minutes. This is not a few second surgery. And then she closes back up again, and then she takes another tool out, and a quick arc of like lightning jumps between like two little prongs, and then she gently presses it over the wound, and you feel like a warm sensation as she drags it down your shoulder all around the skin and flesh. And then she's done. She pulls back, and then she brings her tools and puts them in a sink.
That was gross.
You're fine.
Appreciated.
Just don't overextend yourself, okay? You might tear open the wound.
He nods.
Yeah, don't
and
ask
he
where I
gets
learned
up
this.
and- He gets up and does not ask, and he goes to stand somewhere out of the way.
Excellent.
I
Aurelio!
just.
She snaps her
okay.
fingers.
Your turn.
He doesn't even question it. He just goes and sits down and just
Alright.
looks to the ground.
She picks the cat up out of your hands and then puts it back on the floor, and it like runs into a back room.
Oh.
And then she quickly goes back and shuts the back room door, and then comes back to where you are and says, "What's wrong? Come on, talk to me."
I just have a couple of scratches. Maybe some cuts here and there.
Yeah. She reaches into her drawer and she pulls out a bone saw.
Oh, no. I just like a band-aid.
Nah,
You know?
I'm just kidding, Aurelio. And then she puts it back down and takes out an actual band-aid.
Aurelio's like shaking.
Oh my god.
There's like sweat dripping down his face.
Rosemary is like smiling maniacally, like beneath like the big brim of her purple hat. And then she just puts like the band-aids over your wounds.
Thanks.
Yeah. Then she kisses your forehead and slaps your shoulder to get out of her damn chair.
Okay.
God.
All right, that's everything as far as I'm aware. You didn't get into too much trouble with Lunaris, did you? She asked.
Question.
There may have been a horse robot thing.
I'm sorry, what?
A horse robot thing. I've never seen one before.
Do I remember what it was called? It had like it announced what it was to.
It was like a
Aurelio.
Callisto.
Oh, yes. One of those severe things. It was Charistus if you're very specifically trying to remember. Yeah, I've seen those a few times. They're not small. I'm actually surprised you guys are okay. I mean, I'm not surprised you're alive. They're not supposed to be killing people, but they are very brutish, if you ask
He
me.
seemed pretty keen on it.
Did it say what it was there for? I mean, I just thought it was a perfectly generic ship. I didn't think that it was anything special. I kind of feel bad telling Salvador about it now.
No, it didn't really say what it was after, but
Huh.
It said we
Okay.
were trespassing.
Yeah, that's what it tells everybody. Any kind of unearthed salvageable material is immediately property of Lunaris, technically.
it seemed very likely that it was going to either kill us or vaporize us or...
She looks very surprised on her face. She says, "Wow, that's very violent of it. I'm really shocked that it was so keen on injuring you guys. Normally they just, like, capture you. The drones tase you, and then you wake up a few hours later."
Still not sure what it wanted, though.
That's very weird. I wonder if
I
it
mean, it
was
first
something...
came in, stabbed us in the shoulder, so I don't know how keen on it was keeping us alive, but...
Yeah, I was wondering what put that gash in your back.
Hmm.
Okay, well, you guys might want to just lay low, okay? I don't know if Lunaris is going to hold a grudge against you for wrecking one of their surveyors. Those things aren't cheap.
Oh, it's still alive.
She like looks at you like, what? What did you do to it then?
It's trapped on the record.
Oh, I see. Well, okay then. Just stay low. Technically, we're funded through some Lunaris program, so I hope that they don't come looking for you and think that we're trying to... Never mind. You don't need to worry about that. And then she moves on with the subject. She picks up her cat and puts it in her lap and starts to pet it.
Oh, can I ask about your cat?
Yeah. What do you want to know? I mean,
I've only ever seen a picture of it, of the cat, so where did you find it?
well, they're not native to the planet. I got her as a kitten when I was in the middle of Stanlow, actually. Back before Tenby was technically made.
Huh.
Yeah, her name is Charlie.
Aw. So, not native here. That would explain things.
No, they're not native on Sargasso, but hey, you can get them around. Lately, we've been getting all kinds of imports since New Pavo's sprung up.
Well, it's nice to finally see one, so.
I know, isn't she cute? And she buries her mouth in it. And her black hair, like, envelops this cat like some kind of tentacle creature, and the cat just, like, meows behind the curtain of black strands that is her hair.
Fusion!
And then she lets it go again. And then it kind of, like, jumps out again and walks around the various rooms and herbalism kits and whatnot.
Cute.
Yeah. She goes back over to the windows and pulls up the blinds.
Abram speaks up. What is the quickest way to New Pavo?
Well, it's about 600 miles. You probably want to take the train. Unless you have private transport. I don't think either of you guys do, though, huh?
I did.
Well, I meant... Oh, yeah, you had the cycle, didn't you? Yeah, sorry about that. Well,
And New Pavo's the city?
Oh, yeah, New Pavo's the city. It used to be called Paulus Tyrus. If you're native, you probably still remember it as that name, actually. Though it's been 10 years.
Oh, that's actually the name that I think I remember it as.
Yeah, you probably. After the incident happened and Pavo Station ended up... Oh well, dark time. But hey, they rebuilt the city just on the ground this time, and then they named it New Pavo. It's where the orbital elevator is.
Would I know what happened since I've been here the entire time?
You know what happened? What do you mean?
Like with the station?
Oh, yeah, it was a horrible accident, and it just resulted in the station like falling out of orbit basically and into the ocean. It devastated the local area.
Oh,
Don't
is
you
that the
think
thing
it's
that's
a
in the middle
little-
of the ocean that's like, I won't go there?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
Don't you think it's a little insensitive to name somewhere else after such a large station?
Rosemary shrugs her arms. I don't know, it was the mayor's idea. He wanted to pay tribute to the lives that were lost, I guess.
Yeah, my phone.
Seems like a good
How many
idea at the
people
time.
died again?
I don't really know the exact numbers. How many people are on those? Tens of thousands? Maybe millions. It was like a full city. But probably on the smaller side, though. I don't think it was that big of a station. Probably tens of thousands. Kind of grim. These are very specific questions you're asking me about this station.
Just curious. I've been away for a while.
I see. Rosemary just kind of like looks a little sad, but she's like, yeah, I'm not from this area. I've never been to the city. Well, maybe once or twice, but I'm not from there. I'm from out west, actually. So this is all news to me, really. Not part of my backstory. If you need to talk to Jacqueline at the garage, she'll get together a motorcycle for you, I'm sure. She's always knee deep in parts that she doesn't need.
Sounds similar to me. I'll head over there right now. Thanks for... And she motions to her half of her body that was all patched up.
She smiles and waves. Let me know if you need anything else.
And Nick leaves.
I take out one of my yellows and I give it to her as a thanks.
She kind of like puts it in her palms and like holds it with both hands and just kind of looks at it, and she just says, thank you.
Ah, thank you.
She just nods. She nods. She nods at you, like faintly smiling, like, "Yep,
And then I leave.
okay."
I know.
She hands it to Abram and says, "I'm allergic."
Oh.
I didn't want to tell him because he seems so earnest.
He's like that.
Yeah.
He takes the yellow and puts it in his bag. And now have one yellow.
You now have one yellow.
Yeah.
Abram.
Abram.
Abram. Be careful, okay? She says.
He stares at her and then just turns and goes to leave.
She pets her cat and watches you all go.
Abram's acquired one character available in his dating simulator.
It's true. That is what's
Boy,
happened.
don't tell me that.
Oh my
I'll do
god.
it.
Anything is on the
Choose to
table.
date the cat lady.
Cat lady.
The witch.
So you said you wanted to go.
Rosemary inventory. Here it is. Sorry.
Rosemary? You've added rosemary to your inventory?
Not yet. I'm adding the yellow.
Not yet.
I hate this.
Okay. The mechanics way is let's see here. Do you want to go? You go to the garage? I'm assuming. Are you all just following
Yes.
Nyx? Okay. Then
I'm not.
where are
But
you going,
can-
Abram?
I'm gonna find the train station, but you can take their turn.
Okay. Oh, Abram, just to remind you, did you want to sell your thing?
I already did. We did it really just like. Well, wait a minute. Did you decide if it would be
No.
worth it?
Oh, there's people.
Okay. Well, regardless, yeah, I'll go do that. But you
Okay.
can take their turn first if you want.
Sure.
I actually don't go to the mechanic. Cause
Oh, good. We're all splitting up.
Oh, nice. Where do you want to go?
Well, then
earlier?
I'm going to a store. Where are you going?
I'm going to the inn 'cause I want to go and meet this guy who's named after
All right.
measurement.
Well, and I'm actually gonna go with Abram first.
Oh, okay.
Abram, just down the road, you see you see like a hammer and an anvil marked on top of a gateway, and it leads to this big chimneyed building. And it looks like it's got like a scrap heap in the back,
Okay.
and it's you can put together that it's the smithy. And you step inside and you see a young man, brown hair, very short, big ears, and he looks up at you, and he's like in the middle of working on something. And then the other guy steps around the corner, who looks nearly identical, but with even bigger ears. And they both look at you, and they're like, "Hey, welcome! We are the Bing brothers. What do you need from us?"
I was wondering if you offered credits for scrap.
They both look at each other and then look back. I don't know, do we? Maybe? I don't know. What do you got to say? Come on, show it us. What you got?
Abram comes in further and takes the whatever the hell spaghetti and puts it on their table or something counter.
First guy and says, "Thomas, this looks like shit." Robinson, shut up. Hold on. Let me look at it first, all right? And then he stretches it out, looks at it, spaghetti, big wire bundle. My God, where'd you get this? I don't know what the hell this is. What's it
The
naked?
wreckage unearthed in the canyon.
Ooh, oh, man. You've been around, huh, son? Yeah, that was a weird one, wasn't it? Yeah, it definitely was. Thomas, this might be something. Robinson. Thomas takes out one of the strands and scrapes off some of the rubber plastic and brings it to the back and looks underneath one of the, like a big, like, microscope almost, and takes a nice, good look at it. And he, like, sits back. He's like, "Whoa!" And Robinson goes, "What is it?" And he says, This stuff is nice. This stuff is real nice." And then Robinson pushes Thomas out of the way and looks down at the thing again. I'll give you 3 credits for it, Robinson says. And then Thomas kind of like looks at him like surprised, and then he goes like, "Oh yeah, yeah," and then he like puts on a stern, serious face.
Can I tell if that's high or low?
Is there a skill for that?
I don't know. I was hoping you'd know.
Gambling.
I think gambling here. Let me. Oh, I don't want to bring up Abram's like sheet while I'm recording stuff. If there's like a skill that's like perception or something like that. Well, actually, the fact that you asked means that you're suspicious, like IRL. So I'm just gonna say that you should probably trust your gut instincts.
Okay. He says, "That's it."
Well, I mean, it's just some scrap wire.
Are you gonna go down there and compete with Lunaris for more?
They both look at each other, and then Thomas kind of like kind of like nods like up and down, and then Robertson like nods side to side, and then Thomas starts to nod side to side, and then Robertson starts to nod up and down. And then they're like, all right, fine, yeah, we'll give you your, let's they count the wires up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is a bundle. It's like a bowl full, I guess. Thomas, how much can we? It's good stuff. All right, fine. 8. We'll give you 8.
That's better.
Yep, that's as high as we're going. Take it or leave it.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, hold on. Thomas speaks up. Are you Abram?
He just keeps staring.
Yeah, Sal said so. No. Yeah, Rosemary told us Sal told you that you're the guy that was helping Sal get out of the ravine. And Robertson just kind of like looks at him and looks back at you. And then says like, yeah, are you Abram? Or no, you're Aurelio. No, Aurelio is a short one. You don't look very short.
Abram untenses slightly and closes his eyes. I'm Abram, yes.
Oh. Well,
Word
then.
gets around fast, huh?
Oh, very fast. Small town. Rosemary lives across the street. She said something before we even got the chance to know anything about it. We're all connected here, Robertson says. Thomas slides over the counter and then like puts his arms around you. And like gives you like a little like friendly shake. And he's like,
Another dating option.
You know what, actually, you did our friend a solid. And if you need something, we'll help you out. How's that sound? Tell you what, we're the Smithies. Yeah, we're the Smithies, Robertson says. The best brothers in town. You need something, we'll help you. Robertson looks down and he notices your sword.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, "You know what? You leave that with us. We got some stuff for it.
Stuff.
Stuff. Yeah, I mean,
What
can
stuff?
I see that for a second?
No. What stuff?
Oh." Robertson like backs off. He's like, "Listen, we got some good steel here. If you want it to be nice and sharp, we could get some upgrades for you. Listen, sorry we tried to hustle you earlier, but you helped a friend, and we want to help you in return. All right? We really like Sal." Thomas says, "Yeah, we really like Sal. These wires, they're platinum coated. That stuff ain't cheap. I'm surprised you found it in the middle of nowhere. I've never seen anything like them. If you want, we can use some of it to make a better edge for your sword."
Abram thinks for a moment before unholstering the sword. It's in a sheath, so it's okay. But he lays it on the counter, a little bit harder than normal. He says, "If I don't have this back by tomorrow, I will be back myself."
Oh, we'll have it done in 8 hours. If you want to come tonight, it'll be all good.
Noted.
Nice.
8 hours.
Pleasure doing business with you. Well, not really business, more like a favor. Thomas takes the sword and he pulls it out of the sheath and looks down the edge of it, and he's like really got his eye up against it, and he's like, yeah, we can do something real good to this. Oh yeah. Oh yes. And he takes it around back. And then Robertson hands you your money, and then he gives you like a little like salute thing, and then he goes back to whatever he was working on before you came in.
Mm-hmm. Abram. Oh, is there anything else like of note just around the shop?
You see massive, huge machines meant for crushing scrap metal into like actual usable metal. This is where people would go to bring a lot of their scrap to be processed and to get a money for it. You actually see what, I don't know if you would recognize it, but I'm gonna say that you do. Is that there's this big machine like in the corner that it's not like it's a project. Someone brought it in to be like worked on. It's not native to this office, and it's missing a part in the middle of it. And if you ever saw Aurelio's note in his pocket at any point, you would notice that it is like the perfect shape for what Aurelio was supposed to get from the ship. So this might be the machine that he was supposed to get a part for to repair.
I see. Up here.
Yeah, and you see a lot of like tools on the walls, like crowbars and digging sticks, and tools that might be a little bit more advanced than that as well. And in some regards, a lot of there's no like firearms. This isn't a gunsmith shop, but you do see things that you could recognize as like sledges, hammers, axes. A lot of them are like wood cutting, not the wood cutting kind, but like more for like industrials kind of like deconstruction. And you don't see any swords, but you do see edged things, so they probably know what they're doing.
Yeah, well, if they don't, we're gonna have a problem. But we'll see. So that said, he does not see anything worth noting because he doesn't know about Aurelio's mission. And then
Alright.
he just leaves with his credits.
With his money, his hard-earned.
Delicious credits.
Abram's fucking making out. He's got money. He's gonna get an
God.
upgraded sword. He's got a yellow.
He's got a girlfriend.
He's got a girlfriend and 2 boyfriends.
2 for 1.
I'm gonna come back and meet up with everyone with a... Never mind. Anyway, I guess that's the end of my
Oh my
turn,
God.
because...
Oh yeah, we move on to Nyx, and who knows where Aurelio is. But Nyx, you pull up to this big garage. It's like a fire station. It's got like several like garage doors, and a lot of them are swung open and just lay out into a sandy street. This is more on the edge of the town, whereas Rosemary's shop and the brothers' smithery was in the middle of like more towards the central location. This is more on the edge. You overhear a radio and some music playing. Something country-ish, folky. Yeah, there's no audio. It's just somebody playing like a guitar with some smooth, jazzy overtones to it.
All right. She goes up to the garage and kind of knocks. Just no. Ah!
You see a young woman just like pulling herself out from underneath a car, and she like looks at you and she's like, "Oh, okay, hi."
Hi.
Hi, you scared me.
Sorry. Sal said you could help me with a motorcycle?
Sal, who are you?
Nyx?
This woman pulls herself up off the ground. She's covered in grease. She's just like, you don't know what her skin color is supposed to be because it's just like black with oil.
Typical Thursday night?
Yeah, Sal, what, yeah, he called me on the radio. You're Nyx, okay. What did he said something about a cycle. What'd you do? What'd you break?
Well, I had a motorcycle and I used it to drive down to the site, and then it got crushed by a giant robo horse thing.
Oh, well, that's tough luck, buddy.
Yeah, and he said that you could help me out with getting a new one, or at least salvaging the old one.
She bites her lip and she like stamps her foot.
I spent about 6 months of paycheck on it.
Yeah, you got shot, right? She says.
Pretty badly, yeah.
Fine. Okay, fine. All right. What was? Can you do? Let me. What was? We don't got the new Pavo fancy stuff here. Okay, it's not gonna be nice, but it'll work. All right. Yeah, that good. That good. We come back over here, and she pulls you back around behind the right hand like office area, and from the like suspended from the ceiling upside down, you see like 5 skeletons of motorbikes.
It doesn't have to be anything fancy. I can do upgrades myself over time.
Yeah, she just kind of points to like one, and it looks like kind of your size, and she like she presses a button on the wall, and then she reaches up and grabs like the side of one of the motorbikes and just yanks it down like this giant motorbike, and you think for a second absolutely going to crush her like instantaneously, and she's just carrying this motorbike as if it weighs like the same as like a bread box, and then she orients it like up like the correct way, like wheels down, and then she puts it on the ground, and then she like she stretches over to the button on the wall again. And, like, you can see, it's almost like she's struggling to keep the bike down on the ground, and then she presses the button, and then it sinks into the ground, and the suspension kicks in, and then you hear, like, a little, like, bumping sound as the motorbike, like, settles onto the grate, and then she wheels it up to you. What?
You lifted that bike like it was nothing.
Oh, yeah, well, she points at the ground, and you see, like, this big, like, grate on the ground. And like there's a humming sound beneath your feet, and it's just an anti-grav panel. It's just like, you know, ships have their artificial gravity. Well, this is artificial ungravity.
Oh, okay, makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, it's good when you only have like one person in a garage and you don't have any help. It's a small town, Tenby. No one's really here, so we just have we make do. I mean, I could ask the chief. I guess he could probably lift these kinds of things, but like I think he's a busy man.
Clever.
Yeah.
And then she inspects the bike frame.
it's just a frame. There's like not even a seat like installed yet, but it looks fine. It's roughly the same kind of horsepower as the bike you had previously. It's just everything about it is older compared. Like everything is just like a few years different apart. Serial numbers don't line up. It's just rubber tires. There's like a headlight on the front of it, and it looks like it has space enough for maybe. It's kind of long. It's a long motorbike, so you can probably try to figure out ways to fit on more things.
Mm-hmm.
If you want, I can just install the seat and have it be ready for you in an hour if you just want to sit around and wait.
Yeah, that'll work fine.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you for doing this for me.
I don't have anything else to do right now.
I know that feeling.
It's so boring.
I haven't had a repair lined up for weeks.
I know. Salvador is a nice guy. He asked me to come out from New Pavo. I had lots of jobs, but I don't know. He was so sincere. He wanted to make this place work, and he managed to get the Ring brothers to come with him, and I figured, okay, well, I'll come too, and I don't know. He's earnest. We get by, but it's a small town.
Give it time, I'm sure it'll be more populated in a few years.
Yeah, maybe. Hopefully. Well.
And if you ever need someone specializing in prosthetics, let me know.
Hopefully I never need to take you up on that offer, she says, smiling. I like all my fingers.
Yeah, me too. And she clenches her robo hand.
She looks at it and she's like, she zooms in like super close, like on your arm, like around, like fingers, like barely hovering above it, and she's like, "What is this?"
Blued steel.
But what's beneath it? And she looks at like the servos and the wires. I don't even know if you can really see that, but she's like.
And she pops open a panel on her forearm
She
for her to look inside.
Oh, she moans. She rubs like her eyes and like it scrapes away some of like the oil and stuff like that, and you can see that she's got some pretty tan skin underneath. She looks like Aurelio in terms of complexion, though her hair is like a very muddy brown, long and in a braid, and she's like just like staring at it.
Yeah, I upgrade and maintain it myself.
Where'd you get the pieces?
Scrap from different ships that crashed down.
Wow, I thought Salvador told me you could find all kinds of good stuff in the scrapyards, but I thought he was full of shit.
Can confirm, not full of shit.
Wow. Hey, well, damn, I have to work on your bike. Like, can you tell me about it while I'm working on it? Just like, tell me about it. How does it connect to your arm? How does that work? Is your bone in there somewhere? Is there blood?
Upper arm is complete flesh.
That's so cool!
Yeah, well. And she pops open a panel up closer to her wrists. And if you turn this dial and press this button, my hair changes color.
She just does it. She touches it. She touches it immediately.
And now her hair is a brunette.
She's like beaming. All right, well.
And, and also my left eye is maintained by this exact panel as well.
That's so fancy.
Yeah, well.
Wow.
I try.
Yeah, I gotta get to work though. But like, tell me about it while I'm doing it. And she like jumps over into like a corner that's just full of pieces, and there's like a leather seat amongst them and some more frames and like a little bit of like scrap metal just to like hide some of the engine parts and stuff like that. There's a pedal, some brakes. All we have is this kind of wonky disc brake. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, that's good. And then she pulls it out and she starts like piling it around the bike and stuff like that. And she just starts to get to work. And then I'm going to say that you guys continue to have your conversation about technology as we move to Aurelio's turn, unless there's some last thing that you wanted to add to this.
Nah, it's fine.
Okay, then
You can move on.
across the way we jump over to Aurelio.
Hey,
And, yeah, you
I don't know where the it is.
Well, Salvador pointed it out to you, so did you forget, or did you... Because, like, if you forgot, then that's understandable. In character.
As me, I forgot. So yeah, Aurelio forgot.
Alright, Aurelio is walking up and down the streets of Tenby, trying to figure out where the inn is. He's lost, and he's clutching his bag of yellows close to his chest. And
No,
then
it's a basket.
a basket of yellows, and
I look like
then
Red Riding Hood.
and then you bump into a brick house and fall over and spill your yellows.
My yellows. I start like kneeling down to like pick up my yellows.
And then the brick house turns around and looks down and says, "Oh, I'm sorry, young man."
I don't know houses could talk.
He bends over and starts like picking up your basket of yellows and puts them back in, and then he stands back up on his cane, and you look up, and this is a huge man. He's like as wide as he is tall. He's got
How
biceps.
tall is
He's like 6 feet tall, so I guess he's not like super tall, but he's just wide. He's
But I do
imposing.
look up.
And he's got this giant white beard, and the mustache is like curled like upwards and forwards at the same time. It looks almost like tusks coming out
He's
of his
beautiful.
mouth. And he's just huge, and he's got like blue paint like around the corners of his eyes and forehead.
This
And-
is amazing.
And he just like scrapes off the dirt from your shoulders and like rubs your hair real quick. And he's got this big oak wood cane that he's leaning on. And he says, "I'm sorry about that. I didn't see you there. How are you doing? I'm sorry. My name is Merwin."
Oh no problem, sir. I'm totally fine. Thank you for helping me pick up my yellows.
"No, not a problem."
If I could bother you,
Mm.
do you happen to know where I could find the inn?
He looks up and he like takes his eyes and he's looking, and he takes his hand and puts it above his eyes to shield out the sun, and he's looking around, and he's once again, this person is large. They're giant. He's got like robes, so like he you don't know what's really under there, but like his forearms,
It's pure muscle.
his arms and bicep as he brings up his arm are just shredded. They're like so defined. And he just like, "No, over there," and he points, and there's this big tall like building that it's big and square, and it's got a little tower that has like a bell on the side of it. And he says, "Come on, I'll walk you over there."
Oh, thank you.
What's your name?
Oh, I'm Aurelio.
"Oh, nice to meet you, Aurelio. I'm Merwin." And then he stops for a second, and he's like, "Oh, I already introduced myself."
Nice to meet you too, Merwin. Do I remember that Salvador that said that he was a brick house?
I don't remember who said he was a brick house. I don't know who that was. But I don't know. If you want to roll history, then like you can see what you know about this person just by virtue of being around town.
Yeah, okay. Minus what's his name?
I don't know what history is. Wisdom?
Intelligence.
Oh, intelligence.
-2. Yeah, okay.
All right. You are standing besides the old chief Merwin the Ram,
Sick.
and he is from the original town of Standlow, which used to be a town that's nearby. And that's really all that you remember. I don't know if Salvador. Sure, Salvador referred to this man as the Brick House, and he lives up to this epithet, the nickname.
So I kind of look up at him and like I'm studying him, and like it kind of like that clicks in my head, and I go, "Are you the chief?"
Yeah, that'd be me. Though
Wow.
my chief days, I'm afraid, are coming to an end. I think there's really no more place for me and the old folk in this new town of Tenby. I think only me and Rosemary and Galen are the only ones who really prescribe to that old sort of thing. And he looks kind of sad in his eyes, and you can tell inside that he is kind of like a little broken up about the idea of this new stuff coming in.
Oh no, sir. I think towns always need some good old-fashioned leadership. It helps everyone to get along and, bring the community closer.
Oh, maybe. I think Salvador might be stepping into that position now. And he does a good job, but I do wish he'd listen more to the old ways a bit, And he kind of like shakes his cane at that. Back in my day, we didn't need any help from big corporations like Lunaris. They were just dots in the sky.
Yeah, well, I wish we didn't need their help now, too.
I know there's individuals out there who don't like 'em either, but I suppose they do bring some good things, but I think that we're forgetting some of the other stuff we learned on our own in the process. Can you believe that none of you young'uns know how to distill water from ox blood anymore? Back in my day, we were milking those cows for miles.
Wait, you could... What? That's a thing?
We lived off the land. The only thing that grew around here was short grasses and that reed stuff.
Do you mean the red reeds?
Yeah, the river reed.
What can you do with that? I saw some in the produce section over.
Oh, it's delicious. It's like a vegetable. It's really good for you, but it doesn't taste very nice. People tend to use it to cooking with other stuff. You flavor it. But the oxen, oh, they love it. They eat it up. They'll chew it to the root if you give it to them long enough. We had to...
Are there still oxen on Sargasso?
Plenty, but not as many as there used to be. Or maybe more now that we're no longer hunting them. And he kind of like scratches at his big fluffy beard because he didn't really think about that prospect.
Where would I find off?
I think you could just pick a direction and walk, though. I'd probably say start with the fields and the highlands, the mountainous areas where it's a bit cold, thanks to the upper altitudes.
I see. Yes, I'm from up north in the desert, so they probably wouldn't be near me.
You might be missing out on some of the best parts of our old tribal traditions, kiddo. Where are you from?
Might have been. Oh, I'm from a little town up north, called La Fuente. Just a little mechanics town.
I've heard of it.
Really?
So, that's an old place, though. I'll be honest with you, I didn't think it was still up and standing.
Yeah, there's a few of us still left.
Well, that's good for you. I'm glad you're holding out against the tides of the future.
Well, we try our best, sir.
And you're now approaching up onto the inn at this point, and you see that it's a big building made mostly of plastic and metal, and it's got some overhanging parts where you see some vehicles underneath, like this makeshift garage. I say makeshift. It's well built. It's just that it's not like a interior garage. It's more like just like an overhang of sheet metal that just like keeps the shade off these vehicles. You see like a few cycles, a few larger vehicles like Jeeps. Nothing as big as Salvador's truck.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all you really notice unless you're looking really hard for anything else. And then the front gate's approaching. And he says, "This is where the inn is. Are you staying overnight? How long are you going to be here?"
I'll probably stay overnight. I don't really have anywhere to go quite yet. I think might be headed into the city, but I think I want a good night's rest first.
Oh, I understand, and you make sure you keep your grit in the face of those newfangled things. You got me?
Yes, sir. He does like a little salute.
Oh, good, and he slaps you on the shoulder, and you feel the wind get knocked out of you. And he says he points with his cane off in the distance, like towards the moon. And he says, "If you ever need anything from me, feel free to come to my quarters over there. I live in this big hut. You can't miss it. It stands rather lonely now on the grasslands, but if you need anything, feel free to come and get me."
All right, I will do. Thank you, sir.
And you see him start to walk away, and he's just like waddling down the streets, back and forth, step, click as his walking stick hits the ground. And he passes by a red-haired, tall young man, who goes into the inn before you.
All right.
And you're left alone on the streets.
Can I follow that red-haired dude into the inn?
All right, you follow your red-haired dude into the inn. You're standing in an inn. You see a little like dining area, some seats. It all looks rather plush and comfortable, to be quite honest with you. And you see this Very thin, very like scarecrowy like man standing behind the counter. He's very young, about your age probably, maybe. And he's got also he very dark skin, and he's got blue paint and stuff like that around his like eyes, just like the chief did. And he's got like a very very dark, very rich red hair. And he's just like leaning, reading a book. He's like,
Where was he?
He's sitting behind the counter. He's the guy. He's the man marking the inn area. There's like a bunch of keys behind him on a wall, and he's just like sitting there, leaning on his cheek. He's got like a little bit of scruff around his chin, and he's just reading this book.
I guess I walk up and I
Oh, hi.
my throat.
I didn't see you there.
oh yeah, no problem.
Hi, welcome to the inn. How can I help you?
I was actually hoping for something to eat and drink, maybe.
Yeah, we got some prefab stuff. Are you okay with the hydrated like food?
Oh yeah, that's fine. Just anything.
Yeah, okay. That'll be I guess it's still he like goes over to the cash register and he like clicks a button and it comes up 0.50 and he says, "Yeah, that'll be 50."
All right, that's
50
fine.
cents. And then he disappears into the back, and he comes out with like this little like packet about the size of like a ramen noodle container, and he just puts it into a bowl, and then he takes a pitcher of water and he sprays it over, and then this like it's like a small like bready thick brick in the bottom of this bowl, and as soon as he puts water on it, it starts to like puff up in various places until it becomes like this big fluffy piece of bread that just like fills up this bowl entirely. And
I was expecting like space ice cream.
space ice cream. It looked
Yeah,
like that until he put water on it, and now it looks more like a muffin, like a blueberry muffin. It's got like little like black things in it, and little like strips of red here and there as well.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, and he hands it over to you, and then he kind of like looks at your eye a little bit, and he's like, "Hey, wait a minute, are you Nyx? What?
Oh no, that's
I
that's
thought
one
you
of
were
my,
a girl."
That's one of my
Oh,
companions. No. I'm Aurelio.
Oh, yeah, okay. Cool. All right, never mind. You don't have to pay then.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh, okay, sweet.
Sal already told me that you'd be coming.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
You're only gonna get the one meal though, because
Oh, that's fine.
yeah, I'm glad you understand that.
Gotta keep the place running. I gotcha. Yeah, I had a question. I just, I walked over here with the chief, and he had some of the same blue markings that you have. Is that?
Oh yeah. This stuff. It's mine. Mine are actually tattoos. I don't know if the chiefs are or not. Yeah,
Oh,
it's a thing from like the tribe. Back from like okay, well, yeah. I mean, I don't really believe in it much, but like I guess it was just kind of expected, so I just got the symbols on my head, and I like them. I guess it's nice to remember like the old ways and where you came from and stuff like that. It's like a branch of the old practicants that like Rosemary like believes in and stuff. I think it's really cool, but I don't know if I really buy it the way like the chief does.
I see. He seems to really to miss it.
Really what?
He seems to miss it.
The chief? Yeah, he's an old dog. I mean, I love him. Me and him are actually pretty close. We're both like, I don't know. My parents are like, I guess what you want to call like pure blood like tribe people, you know? Like they both grew up in there, but like then I grew up and it's more like I'm like Tenby, like that. I mean, if somebody asked me what my home was, I would say like Tenby. Like I didn't have much to do with Stanlow or the old stuff, but like I don't know. I feel like I don't want to disappoint him. Like I do like the stuff, the tribal ways. You get this kind of feeling that he doesn't exactly know what he's talking about fully.
Yeah, I can figure.
Yeah, but he's like, I just kind of want to, like, he's a good guy, and I want to make him proud of us, but like he doesn't really like what Salvador is doing much. I mean, he does like medicine and stuff, and that's good, but like when Salvador said he'd be expanding the area and making it good for people again, I don't think he really pictured that it would be so different from what he grew up with.
I see.
Yeah, it kind of makes me sad too, but I mean, I don't know. I like books and video games and stuff, so I don't want to like say I don't like it. And he kind of shrugs.
You guys have video games here?
Of
What are
course
those?
we got video games, man. And he just like pulls out what looks to be like a Game Boy Color with like 2 buttons and 1 diagonal pad, and it's like all 16-bit like stuff, and he just like hands it over to you for a second.
What on earth?
I know,
I've
isn't
only
it
heard
cool?
stories about these.
I know, man. It's so cool.
Where did you get this?
I just bought it at the store. I mean, the
What? What store?
and we go back to no, we don't go back to Abram just yet. There's like the remember where Rosemary's shop was? Like just farther down the way is like the main grocery store, and they got like everything, man.
Well, this is incredible.
I know.
You're bringing out his inner stoner. This is amazing.
This is amazing. It's
how many colors does this thing have?
206.
Oh my god.
I know.
Aurelio's like holding his heart. Like, he's like,
Gallon kind of like slowly like reaches into Aurelio's hand and like gently pulls it back again and puts it back underneath the counter. We're not supposed to have that out though while I'm on the shift, though.
I see. Wait, this guy's Gallon?
Yeah, this guy is Gallon.
Oh.
You eat him.
I eat him. I don't mention anything about his name.
Oh, good.
I kind of ask him, so, does anyone here happen to know anything about the crash site with that ship and, Lunaris, maybe? Like, in depth?
He just like bites his like lip and no. I mean, Rosemary was the one who saw it happen. It get unearthed. I just do the in stuff.
I see. One more question, if you would. Is there anyone here that knows a lot about perhaps ancient technology or related things?
He keeps going on like droning like that for like maybe a good 15 seconds. Ancient tech. I mean, Salvador is the one who does all the scavenging. Rosemary knows a lot of old stuff. Maybe the chief. Maybe, I don't know. He doesn't like technology, but I don't really know if he just doesn't like the new like Lunaris stuff or if he doesn't like all technology. It's kind of hard to tell. I don't know. I'd talk to Sal. Maybe the Smiths might know some stuff, but they're kind of weird.
Yeah, okay. Well, thank you very much. I will probably be back here later for some good rest.
Oh yeah. Hold on. And then he actually takes the key off the wall and hands it to you. It's like a magnetic strip key, like a credit card kind of thing.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, I forgot to give that to you.
Oh, no problem. Thanks, dude.
There you go. Don't lose it.
Oh, well, definitely will not. Aurelio puts it in his pocket and like hits the front of his shirt.
Okay.
And he shovels the bread into his mouth.
Delicious.
And then he stands up and he goes to walk out and he waves and he goes, "Hey, thanks, man. Thanks for showing me your cool video game stuff. Yeah, thanks." And he runs out the door and to go find Abram.
All right, and we go to Abram. Abram's turn begins.
It does.
Abram, you've
He's in the what? Sorry.
no. Tell me, paint me a word picture.
I will not do that, but I will say I am in the streets because he's looking for the train station technically, but if a certain short, one-eyed person happens to find him in the process, that is also welcome.
You end up eventually at the train station because no short, one-eyed man ever comes across you. The man couldn't even find the inn. How is he expected to discover you?
Oh my god.
And so you get to the train station. It's on the far western half of town. It's like as far west and south as you could possibly go. It's the end of Tenby, quote unquote. And it's this pretty drab-colored station. It's in a much older design than the rest of the city looks like. Like whereas the city is made out of like a lot of steel, industrial-looking materials, this is more like brick and mortar, with like scrap kind of like roof topping. Corrugated? What's like the tin roof that like wiggles up and down like waves?
I understand.
You go in and you see like a big like you go up some stairs, so like the train station is kind of like up high a little bit. You're technically on the second floor, and on the out of the windows, it's a big open room. You can see out onto there's like a big train yard where there's a lot of like railroads and a lot of old cars and locomotives that are just kind of either dilapidated or rusting. There's even one of those old water towers that were meant for putting water into steam engines and stuff like that. This is a very old station because, of course, they don't use steam engines anymore. But you see the devices still as if they do. You do not, however, see a train waiting for you. You go over to the main office area, and it's empty of a person. It says Johan Patterson on the front of the window. And you also notice that it's been left ajar, this office.
Okay. Is it like one of those like things where there's like a window?
Yeah, it's like all window. It's just someone like...
Okay, good.
Yeah, all
so
window.
I literally cannot see anyone inside.
You literally cannot see anyone inside. It looks like a fucking mess in there. There's papers like all over a desk and like old pens and stuff like that.
Does it look, aside from the mess, is it like a bad mess, you know what I mean? Or is it just like
No, it's like someone's just
recently
disorganized.
Okay.
It's the someone doesn't know how to take care of their life mess, not like someone was ruffling through
damn,
everything
that you
mess.
live like this. Can I get to the... Is there anyone else around?
No, you don't see anybody else. You see like a Roomba, like small like robot, just like going up and down the station floor, like the loading area, I guess, where you're standing, and it's just going back and forth and back and forth, and then it comes to your foot, and then it beeps at you.
I look at it for a bit, and then I return my attention to this office. What's ajar? Oh my god. That was horrifying. I step over it so it can continue.
It continues
business.
its business.
I'm so sad. Can I go inside the office?
Yeah, go inside the office.
I'm inside the office.
You're inside the office.
Still nobody around? I don't hear anybody?
No, there's nobody here. You hear voices like outside, but nobody's like in the building. At least not in the immediate area. Maybe there's like some kind of like something going on out in like the train yard or something, but there's nobody inside on the loading platform.
Well, I'm sad. Do these papers say anything?
Yeah,
like,
you see
a quick glance, do they
like
say anything about
you see like a
trains?
schedule that's like telling you when like
that's what I
people are
want.
gonna come back and forth, and you see that it's all one name. Like every single time it has like an administrator sign off, and then it has like a conductor sign off, and then an engineer sign off, and then like where the train is going and how long it's gonna take before it comes back, and all three of them are the same name, and that's Johan Patterson. And that is the name of the train conductor whom you hitched a ride on earlier.
Fuck. Yeah, I was about to say, wait, is that... okay.
Yeah, you remembered. Don't worry, you beat me to it.
Yeah, I do remember.
And
Abram remembers, and he...
Abram remembers.
He thinks. Okay, that makes sense, I guess. But, kidding when the train will be back?
It's gonna be back
apparently
in...
he's gone.
It's gonna be back in what appears to be a few hours, unfortunately.
Oh,
It's
Well,
coming back
that's-
at the nighttime, and right now it's late afternoon. It's like gonna be 11 o'clock at night before it returns.
Wait, what time is it now? Will my sword be done? Abram thinks about those.
They said it'd be done in 6 hours, so that would be like 6 p.m., 7 p.m. So
Okay,
yeah,
good.
the sword would be done before the train arrives.
Excellent. All according to Kikaku. Alright. Abram is satisfied. He just nonchalantly leaves this area that he kind of broke into.
All right,
I guess he
we're
shouldn't be back there.
we're not cutting your turn. Is there anything else you want to do? Because I was gonna kind of like do a quick pause thing real quick. Do you have something that you want to end
Oh, yeah, no, don't worry about it. I guess for
Okay.
now he's just gonna kind of wander around the
We-
station looking at stuff.
with? Okay, you see like where you were was like the passengers like would step onto the subway kind of place. But then like in just the rooms over, you see like big like cranes outside, and you see like stacked up cargo. With like a bunch of ticket slips and stuff like that on it. Like it was left here on pallets, and people are expecting it to get loaded on and delivered someplace else sometime soon. And it's all just waiting. There's a lot of there are no droids, there are no human-like robots, but you see more things that are like small Roombas meant for cleaning, and you see like a few robots that are just like forklifts, but they just have a little bit of machinery around where the steering wheel and stuff is supposed to be, so it's like an automated lifting systems and things like that, and they're just like waiting. A few of them are just like moving back and forth, performing maintenance or moving things in preparation for whatever deliveries are supposed to happen tomorrow. Aurelio, you pop into the smith,
Okay.
and they're like, "Hey, what are you looking for?"
I kind of look at them and like,
You hear a loud metallic twang, and then you hear another voice in the back just go, "Shit! Fuck!" And then Robertson just like moves over slightly on his counter so that you can't see behind him.
I kind of like move my head to the side a little bit.
And then he's like matching your like movements like perfectly so that you cannot see around. What do you need?
And he moves his head back to like look at him head on. I'm actually just looking for someone.
Oh yeah, who are you looking for?
Tall man, pink hair.
Thomas comes around the corner and they both point in the direction of the train station.
Like, and like Aurelia does like finger guns, and he like backs out the door while trying to still look like behind where like he heard the shit. From.
Roll perception
Oh my god. I
if
hope
you're
you
that
pass
determined.
this.
Perception, wisdom.
You take you're not quite sure exactly what you saw, but you think maybe you saw like a sword looking like thing and like some scrap metal and some sparks and stuff like that, but you're not exactly sure what you saw.
Okay. And I back out, and I go the direction they pointed.
All right. Abram, you see a small pinata racing towards you down the road towards the station. You're technically above him,
Arms
up at the
wide
top of
open.
the stairs.
Ready to jump.
Abram sees this and he recognizes this, and
This thing.
he does wait because he's like, he doesn't understand why he would be looking for him, so he waits. He doesn't move to meet him halfway, he just kind of stands there.
I see how this is. Yeah, Aurelio just keeps
Well,
throwing
he
up.
does say Aurelio when he gets close enough.
Let's go. Alright, so, I met the chief.
The chief.
The chief. But I think, you still have the orb, right?
Yes.
Okay, I think we should bring the orb. Because it's like some kind of weird, ancient, whatever stuff. I mean, they spoke some weird ancient language no one speaks anymore. So maybe the chief would know something about it, because he's old. He's like old as whatever. So I was thinking maybe he'd know about it, and he told me to stop by his giant hut at the end of the hill by the moon, or something like that.
From stairs.
If I ever needed anything, I think we should ask him what he knows about, people that used to speak Sunhelian and this orb and all this stuff. Yeah, I want to catch him before he got on the train.
Well, the train isn't here, so I suppose we could go
Whew.
show the chief the orb. Where's next?
You hear a very loud motor revving,
Oh god.
and from around the corner swerves this big beaming headlight and a figure in black, and then it steps off, and then the motor cuts out and the headlight dissipates and you can finally see. And then she speaks.
Hey guys, I got my wheels back.
I think we found her. Hey, Nix, I met the chief.
Oh my god.
Uh,
Aurelio goes through his spiel again.
What?
I just repeat the same thing I said to Abram, only to him.
Yes.
Uh,
Abram
alright.
sighs.
So, all right. What was the language that you guys told her about, like the language thing, right?
Yeah, Sunhillian.
Alright, y'all know everything, right? Y'all like
Alright.
there nobody's keeping secrets from each other. It's okay if you are. I'm just
Yeah.
trying to clarify. Okay.
Nah, I ain't saying anything. Or I haven't said anything that I ain't saying. Got me.
Nyx, she kind of squeezes her eyes shut and pinches the bridge of her nose. You know I speak Sunhelian, right?
Yeah, but this thing doesn't. You speak Sunhelian, but do you really know what this thing is? Are you old as dirt? The chief is. He probably knows.
First of all, that's kind of rude.
No, it's true. We should go talk to him.
Sure, why not? All I know is that I got a new set of wheels and I'm super excited about it.
Abram looks at it, trying to figure out if they can all fit on it at once.
Just
The
barely,
answer
but
is no.
just
Aurelia
barely.
does the same thing.
Just barely, but the rider says no.
It's one of those things where like one person would be driving, one person would be sitting behind them holding the other person's waist, and then the third person would have to like sit facing backwards and like holding on to like
Oh
the
my
bottom
god,
of
that's
the
so
seat.
cute.
I know who that is.
I want Aurelio on the back.
But
That
all of
is so
you
adorable.
all of you
With my
could fit.
basket.
The back wheel has like two pegs on the side where like you could put your feet and like
Right.
if you needed like the trick things.
I'm
for, like,
riding it
BMXs or
anime
something.
style.
God.
This is the most romantic bike
Nyx
I've ever
gets on her
seen.
bike. Well, it'll be faster if we use my ride, so...
Abram,
Really?
without hesitation, gets on the back behind the six. He is very large, but he still fits.
It roars to life. Yeah, it's a pretty large bike. It was very long. It's not as small as Nyx's old bike actually.
Aurelio
Nice.
goes and sits backwards behind the
Do you turn on the radio?
with his basket in his hand.
Sure.
Okay.
Can I choose a song?
Sure. I mean, you can
Please.
flick. You
Oh,
turn it on and you immediately hear, "This is DJ Mr. Charisma himself, the Music Man. We're gonna be playing some smooth jazz for y'all tonight, and we're gonna be enjoying it.
Nope.
And just in
No.
case you were wondering, there's only the one station in all of Tenby.
No.
No.
All right.
No.
You flick it, and it's static.
No.
Abram leans around. Turn it back. I like that station.
I love that DJ.
You flick
That's
it
my
back
favorite
on.
DJ DJ.
You flick it back on, and clearly you missed a few sentences because he's just finishing talking about his most recent love life, his love advice to a writer into his show. And DJ finishes by saying, "All right, now we're gonna be getting back to those smooth blues, and if you need anything, write on in."
Aurelio takes out a pen and paper and
You're-
starts writing.
Oh
You're
my-
listening to 104.7, and y'all have a great night.
I hate you.
And then it and then it starts playing smooth.
Oh my god.
I never
hate
want
you all.
to dance again. Feet have got no rhythm.
And you listen to that all the way to wherever you're going.
I hate this.
We missed you too next. Alright, we're on the way to the moon hut.
Oh, you're going to the moon hut?
Moon.
Yeah, we're going to the moon hut.
All right, you drive in the direction of the moon, and eventually the town falls away. There's a few markers on the ground that blink with a pulsating yellow light that just probably mark proximity or something. You're not quite sure. And the paved streets almost immediately just become dirt, like as soon as you leave the main road. So you're bumping along on this motorbike. You're lighting the way with the one headlight. The two moons are shining overhead, but the biggest one is the one that the chief pointed towards with his stick. And you're driving towards it. Hmm?
Does anyone want a yellow?
The sky is pretty full of stars, though as you look westward and to the south, it starts to fade away as light pollution takes over.
Great.
Those of you who have well, I guess it's harder. None of you guys can really miss this, but you see a towering string of lights that just goes up and up and up and up and up and up until it fades away from view rather than just ends. And it's this stark collection of lines, like Orion's belt, except with like 80 stars, and it comes up from where the horizon ends, and then it just goes up into the night sky as the sun sets. Eventually, you get to this more grassy-like area. You've gone uphill a lot. You can see the town of Tenby below, and it looks rather nice with all the lights on and the pulsating like proximity markers. You see the radio tower blinking with a red light. That's probably where Mr. DJ is. And you come to this like thatched hut roof. It's made all with like earth-worn bricks, and there's like scarecrows marked up around in front of the gates. Gates, I say, they're like wooden fences, like waist high. They keep in like donkeys or goats maybe, though you see neither. It's it's more grassy, but it's like kind of like seagrass, like it's stiff and it's in the sands, and it's you see like mountains like off in the distance, more beyond this thatched hut area. You see some ruins of some older buildings near this area, but the only thing that's still standing is this one big circular hut. And
like
you
Hagrid's hut?
Kind of.
That kind of thing?
A little bit bigger. A little bit bigger and not quite as European looking. It's much more like Adobe.
Okay.
Yeah. And you get off. You shut off the light. Motor stops.
I jump off and I stretch.
She hops off the bike. Man, I missed that.
Thanks for the ride.
No problem.
What time is it, like, roughly in the game?
Like 5 o'clock? 5:30?
Yeah.
PM?
Okay.
Yeah, you guys have been walking around for a few hours now, and like noon was when you got there, so you've been doing stuff for a few hours. Can I post the overall map, DM? I'm afraid the world map, the one that's like Sargasso.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I bring it up.
Thank you.
Yeah, how far are we outside of town? If you can mark that. Oh god, where am I?
We're on the top left-hand corner. The town of Tenby is what I'm marking right now. The southernmost town besides this ravine that you guys came from. The X is what marked the first chapter.
It's like super fuzzy for me.
It's not even loaded on mine, but that might be my internet.
It's a very large map. It's just by virtue of being very big. It'll eventually come in, hopefully.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Oh, there it is.
Okay. You guys are up more to the north. Do you see where there's like dunes and there's a little bit of grass?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's where you guys are.
Okay. I just walk up to the door.
Okay.
And then I knock.
Nobody answers.
Chief. No.
Are you sure he said he would be home?
I mean, he said that I could come here if I needed him. Of course, I guess I don't really know if he's home now.
Can we open the door?
You gently like push on the door. It's like a wooden door, and you push on the latch, and it's not. It just yields completely, and it's all dark inside. Swings
I
open.
mean, I can kind of see in the dark.
It's true, Aurelio can see in the dark.
So
I
what
can
do
see heat.
Yeah, he looks inside. Oh yeah, Nix, you don't see
I was
any
gonna
heat.
say, is there a heat signature? Oh.
No, you see actually you see like a little warm spot like on the wall. And you go over to it and you see that it's like a light switch, and then Aurelio is like, you can see like I don't know what distance it was, but anyway, you look inside, you basically see everything. It's like a big circular room. There's a hearth in the middle. There's a few like offshooting rooms. This is like a building made of 2 circles that overjoin each other.
Okay.
And there's a few in this way it generates a few like doors that close off some rooms. One of them in the back is ajar. And can all of you roll
I thought
perception?
it was a door.
Roll perception as you guys enter this building. Are you,
All of us?
all
Go
of you.
past that.
Are you all entering this building, by the way?
Sure.
Yeah, I'm the one who probably opened it and just walked down.
I mean, I'm not inside it. I'm outside of it.
I'm inside.
Nix, you smell. Well, I guess everybody can roll first. We'll see who gets this information. Aurelio doesn't.
Alright, where's my perception? Oh, here it is.
Aurelio, you're not even sure you're in a house.
I'm not.
Where
I'm
am I?
outside of it. I refuse to go in the house. I straight up refuse to step inside the
Alright.
threshold of the house.
Really, you do?
Yeah, he's not home.
All right. Well, Nix
He's
and Abram
respectful.
went
What do
right
you mean, what? I have no respect, but don't expect Aurelio to be that way.
in. Nix, did you also go in?
Yeah.
All right, you smell like motor oil. You smell like oily, like mechanical lubricants and stuff like that from inside the house. And so do you, Abram.
Hey guys, he's
You-
not home.
You said this guy didn't like technology, right?
He doesn't. He's not a fan of people neglecting the old ways.
Then why is there motor oil?
I mean, that's
Abram, you
been around
actually
forever.
you step in a little like tiny puddle of like what looks to be some kind of lubricant.
I see.
You said that one of the doors was ajar.
I thought it was a
Um,
door.
In the back, you see several doors. I guess one of them is ajar.
I'm gonna knock on the door with my knuckle before pushing it.
Okay, you open it up and it appears to be the chief's bedroom.
Whoops.
You see a dresser made of like hickory wood. There's a large ox's like head mounted on the wall above the bed.
Yeah!
You see a few photographs. The photographs have like there's like 18 people in one photograph, and it looks like you see one. It's like this huge man in like the top left-hand corner with like this big, full, dark red beard and like this huge mustache, and you see a much smaller red-haired woman besides him, and then like I don't know, like 10 kids and young adults like crowded around him and her. They all have like the same hair tone basically, except for one who's blonde.
Someone got dizzy. Do I notice anything else?
A few other trophies. A mirror. You see some mustache wax.
Alright, I close the bedroom door.
Okay.
Abram asks her if she saw anything.
Nope, just typical bedroom things and a giant ox head over his door, or over his bed. Don't know what that means, but,
You hear a motor outside.
Oh,
Do you do
Do I
anything?
see him because I'm sitting on the
Aurelio,
Aurelio's-
you don't actually see it. You hear it, but it's like on the other side of the house or something. Like it's come from the backside.
Oh, I walk around back, I guess.
All right. You see what looks to be another motorbike. Are you gonna roll stealth or anything, or are you just gonna like be like, oh hello?
No, I'm just like, oh hello. This is the chief's house. I figure it's the chief.
Okay, you look and you can very plainly see from the moon's lighting, and it's not very dark out just yet, that it's definitely not the chief.
Oh,
Do you still? I will let you roll stealth if you would like to. Just now that you've known this information, it's definitely the chief was huge. This person is like still tall, kinda, but they're not like nearly as large.
I roll stealth.
Okay, roll stealth. This person is not looking for you, so it will not be hard.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't. I mean, you're on the other side of a house. You have full like semi cover. It was a DC of 5.
Okay.
So you
sweet.
passed it with your modifier. Good job.
Yeah.
But you just like you begin to step around the house to look, and then you immediately stop and like pull back a ways, and you see this figure pull off their helmet, and it's Barkley,
Oh.
and his red hair comes like tossing down. He's got like a bunch of stitches in the side of his head, and he just like kind of like deep breaths in. He just goes, and then he shuts off the motor to the car, or the cycle. I mean, it's just like a big like beat up piece of crap, kind of like what you saw in the motor area for Jacqueline's garage.
Did Nix and Abram hear the motor? Like they could hear.
Oh
the
yeah,
motor,
they
right?
definitely heard it. This is also pretty far away. He's I don't know, like 100 feet, 75 feet back. Like he parked down the hillside, and also it's more rocky.
So he's not like close to like going in through like a back door or anything.
No, he's not that. He parked down where before this hill even like started. It's very rocky and hilly, so you don't know if it's just because like he's not convinced the motorcycle could have gotten up the side, or if it's a case if he wanted to park far away and walk. Like maybe he wanted to have a nice cold like walk through the area. Who knows? But the point is that he's not that close. He's like 70 feet at the closest.
All right, I quiet run back to like the door of the house, and I like stage whisper in. I go, guys, get out of the house.
He does.
Yeah. Abram on the way out says, "What was that?" Because he also heard that.
That was Barkley.
What is he doing here?
I don't know.
Is he
just
coming this
parked-
way?
I mean, last I saw, he was getting off his motorcycle about 75 feet away from the house, bottom of the hill.
Mm.
But I imagine he's probably gonna come into the house. I mean, should we?
Have you guys fled the house back to where you parked down
I guess
the way?
we're like out on the porch, or are we by the bike?
That's a
I mean,
question for you guys.
I'm on the porch.
I imagine we were on the porch right now.
Just chilling.
Because are we gonna hide, or are we gonna pretend we're just here to visit and talk to Barkley?
I mean,
there
we
are
don't really
places
have
that
any
you could
reason
hide
to
if you would like to
hide,
attempt to.
Fuck. Sorry.
There's several large like hills that you could just duck behind if you wanted to. There's a wood pile. Like
Are there any like barrels nearby the house or something?
Oh yeah, there's barrels stacked up alongside. Like you don't know what's in them. Some of them feel kind of empty or look
Get
kind
in
of
the
empty.
barrel.
That's what I'm gonna do. Is there like
can't,
a
I'm too
barrel?
big.
Is there like a barrel near like a window or something that I can like go in?
Yeah, I guess on the left of the porch, there's a few barrels stacked up beneath a window, and one of them is empty. I mean,
I
maybe
go
others
over
are empty
to-
as well.
I go
Oh
over
my
to there
gosh.
and I say, all right, I'm gonna hide in here and look in and see if Barkley belongs here, if he's just stealing stuff from the chief.
Well, there
And,
was oil in there. When I think of oil, I think of Barkley.
I go, well, all right, and so I hide in here and I go, please don't leave without me.
All right, well, what do you two do?
Well, what I was gonna say, what are we supposed to do?
If you would also like to hide like him, there's plenty of places to do so.
I'm gonna stay right where I am. Just,
All right. I don't know. I'm trying to remember. Does Barkley have a reason to have beef with us? I don't remember.
I mean, he just doesn't
He's
like
good.
me.
I mean,
He
you did
doesn't
shoot
like
him.
us, but
You did wreck his helicopter.
yeah, but like we're cool.
I shot his sister, so I need to
You
hide.
did shoot his
Yeah.
sister.
Yeah, but when we parted ways last time, it was kind of civil, right? Like we just kind of.
I mean, I was cool with them, so I'm not too upset.
Hey,
All right. Well, the one who.
I'm just
the
here
one
to tell
who-
you what happens, not how to think.
Well, I'm talking to Nix. Are we gonna? Fuck it. We're gonna stand on the porch. He's in the barrel. All right. We're here by ourselves. If anyone asks,
Okay.
we don't know where Aurelio is.
You wait a couple minutes, and then up the way, like following the trail that you guys drove up, comes walking Barkley, and he notices you after about a minute, because he just kind of like looks at you, and he just kind of like, he kind of like just stops like dead after, and just kind of looks at you guys from about like 30 feet away. And he says, these are things that he's saying, by the way. I'm not just like DMing nonsense. Hi.
Hi.
What are you doing here?
I have business with the chief.
He looks at Abram.
What are you doing here?
None of your business.
Well, then I guess we're just gonna stand here. The chief's not here.
Barkley looks in the window and sees that the lights are all off and looks around, and he just sees that there's one other motorcycle, and he just kind of thinks about the fact that all you people must have just clown carred your way here on that one motorcycle. And you
It's
kind of
just
like,
us two, don't worry.
uh-huh. Okay, well, in that case, bye. And then he just turns around slowly and begins to walk back down the hill.
That's it?
Handled.
Aurelio jumps out of the barrel and tackles him.
Oh my god. I mean, did you guys say anything to stop him, or?
Not really, just odd. Weirdo.
I'm trying to think of something to say to them.
Time will slow for the sake of your guys' thought processes. Aurelia, would you roll a 10 for?
Dexterity to jump out of the barrel and tackle him.
Oh my
are,
god.
Are you for realsies?
Yeah.
You jump out of the barrel, and
I don't tackle him hard, I just kind of like drape myself around his shoulder.
What is happening?
he sees you coming like a mile away, and
Yeah,
you just like
literally.
you kind of like come at him, and if you come at him any faster than like a brisk walking pace, he like reaches into his pocket and then just kind of like looks at you and stops moving as you approach him.
I'm not like angry or anything.
Okay.
I'm just running up to him.
And then when you run up to him, he like puts his arm out to like make sure you do not come within what arm's like span of him.
Don't touch me.
Do not touch me. He says, "Do not touch me."
I say, alright.
What do you want?
I say, what do you want? What are you doing here? And I roll for persuasion.
Okay. What are you trying to persuade him to do or believe?
So tell me why he's here. Why you at the chief's house? Hut,
All right, roll persuasion.
dude. Tell me. Please.
He says like, well, I'm not planning anything bad or anything. I believe it or not, I got other things I do besides just scavenge. All right. So if you're thinking I'm doing something weird or creepy or
I
burglary,
think both of those
then
things.
well, then kick
think
it out
all
of your
of
head.
I
Get your
really
eyes
kind of
checked.
eyes him suspiciously.
Nick says, "How's your head?"
I'll live. No worse than the mines.
How's your helicopter?
Shut up.
Abram steps in. How do you know the chief?
Everybody knows the chief. He's been
How
around
do you
forever.
know the chief?
He's old as dirt.
Oh,
Tell me what you
relationship? Oh my god.
He's mine.
What is actually spoken for real?
Everything that I say is always for real.
Okay.
Aurelia jumped into a wine cask. It wasn't actually empty. It's drunk.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, what the hell are you doing hiding in the barrel?
Well, listen, I thought you were gonna go in and, steal. You thought you were going in somewhere you shouldn't be.
Oh,
and
well,
was
you're a great
gonna-
Samaritan there, you little rat.
Hey, at least I'm not some kind of dirty detonator.
Blech.
Yeah.
He looks back to Abram.
So is the chief all right with detonators?
Chief's alright with everyone, kinda. Hey, I mean, what's so wrong about detonators? I guess the
What
name
isn't
could
so
have been
wrong?
better, but
You tried to kill us earlier over.
I didn't try to. Well, there were
Aurelio has his hands on
mostly
his hips.
mostly warning shots until you tried to kill me.
You
Nick
started it.
raises a single eyebrow.
You followed us in a helicopter.
I thought you were Lunaris.
Oh yeah,
We
we look like
look
Lunari.
Barkley points at Nyx, actually.
So you're gonna assume that I'm part of Lunaris because of the colors I choose to wear?
That's racist.
Your arm looks just like their damn stuff, alright? And by the way, Sally was gonna shoot you with a trank, alright? Yes, I get it's still legal, but I wasn't gonna kill you.
Yeah, and I fired a warning shot, completely missing her.
Then we're all
Point?
fine, alright? Yeah, scavenger's life, very dangerous. But let bygones be bygones or whatever, okay? Fine. I'm sorry.
I had no beef with you. These two.
What are you doing outside the chief's house?
I'm not allowed to ask a question?
Fine, you can ask a question. You got me.
I meant I'm asking a question about the chief. Or to the chief.
I know. Fine. I guess that makes sense. He waves his hands up in the air exasperatedly and lets him fall back down to his sides.
Aurelio kind of wrings his hands and he goes, does your sister feel better?
Oh,
Yeah, she's fine. She's a little shaken up, but she'll be fine. Thanks for asking, I guess.
Well, that's good.
So what are you here for?
Maybe
Mr.
I also want
Visit?
to ask a question.
Alright, no need to be touchy.
Abram looks at the sky. Is it, getting darker?
It's steadily getting darker with every passing minute. The stars are
Is
beginning
he
to come
usually out this late, the chief?
out. Yeah, he gets around, I guess. He likes to visit people and bars and
Gets
inns
around?
and places. Oh, shut up.
I was gonna say good for him.
Ugh.
Jeez, who pissed in your coffee this morning?
You broke my helicopter.
Technically, I didn't do shit.
You shot me with a
started him.
machine gun.
In self-defense,
You really wanted that orb, huh?
So it was an orb?
What do you know about it?
Aurelio kind of punches Abram.
Abram flinches and looks down at Aurelio, frowning.
Barkley puts his hands on his hips. And he just kind of like looks at you guys, and he has like a tiny smile, but he's like serious on his face. He's kind of like serious, but he's still amused. So it was an orb, huh?
So what if it was an orb?
So that's it? It was. How big was it? Is it gold? What'd you get?
We don't
Aurelio
know.
kind of looks like a fish. Like he's just like,
I kind of assumed it'd be something a bit bigger if they were going to be sending surveyors to come and get it. All this for a tiny little orb. Like a marble or like something like your head? Or did you wheel it underneath the
Aurelio
tarp?
makes like a shape with his hand, like with his hands put together, like orb shape.
Well, that's stupid. He looks
I
kind of
mean,
like exasperated.
It talks.
Yeah, I guess you're right about that. I don't know what the hell it was. Did you at least take it to somebody to see if anybody else knew what it was or what it could do? Or I'll admit it was kind of weird. I've been scavenging for a long time, but I don't think I've ever come across something that does that before. Did you ask anybody else in town? I just got in. I didn't get the chance myself.
I mean, Aurelio kind of looks at Abram and next and just goes, like, kind of what we
Out of
wanted.
character, are we gonna tell him that we're gonna ask the chief?
I figure there's no
I
harm in
don't
it.
see why not.
Yeah.
Okay, well there you go.
I figure we just ask the chief.
So that's what y'all here for?
Yeah.
Yeah, alright, I guess that's fair. Maybe he would know, the old coot. Well, I got nothing more to talk to you guys about. I'm gonna beat it.
Alright.
Well,
See you
alright.
later.
Yeah,
Oh, he's leaving.
bye. And he turns around, puts his hands in his pockets. It's getting noticeably cold. It's like getting chilly as you guys are standing outside this hut. And he just shoves
Nyx
his
rolls
hands.
down her sleeves.
Yeah, he shoves his hands in his pockets and starts walking down to where his motorbike was parked.
I'm perpetually wearing a coat, so I'm good.
Okay. Unless anybody stops him, he revs up the engine. The headlight comes live to action, and he speeds off towards Tenby.
Well, we can either wait here or I got a key card, I guess, for a room at the inn.
And I have something to pick up from somewhere in Tenby.
To be
Oh,
clear,
are you?
I saw some
you the
people.
one-
Sorry, I saw some people questioning earlier about like what Sal did for you guys. He promised you all one night's free, like to sleep overnight, and like commodities to like.
Sleepover.
Yeah, just in case you're wondering. I think Nick said something earlier about like what each person got from Salvador in terms of like a bonus, and basically it was you all have a room reserved at the inn.
Are you telling me we have separate rooms?
If you want to snuggle with Aurelio, you be my guest.
Oh my god.
Carry
I
on
can't.
with
What's
your
the point?
I'm like a little teddy bear.
Oh my god.
All right, carry on, carry on. Didn't mean to interrupt.
What? Sorry.
Are you the?
Well,
Did you?
I got
Did you
it.
drop
Sorry.
something off with the weird big-eared guys?
Yes. They're upgrading my sword. Supposedly.
Oh,
How do you know?
nothing.
He stares at Aurelio.
Or like kind of looks at the ground, like it's like.
He looks at Nyx. We have to go back now.
Alright. She gets on her motorcycle. Hop on, everybody, unless you want to walk.
Abram gets on.
Aurelio gets on the back again and just kind of stares off into the distance, his arms crossed.
Hang on to your hats, guys. Let's see how.
I'm not wearing a hat.
Oof. Ooh. Roll a d20 there, girl.
Wait, me?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, do it. Just roll d20. Roll dexterity.
Why?
Roll dexterity.
And if we
Give me a
die,
I think I know exactly what this is.
All right. A bullet whizzes up. No, nothing. She revs the engine. It roars to life, and like a bunch of dust is kicked up as you guys all like lunge forward, going down the side of this like hill back towards Tenby, and you're racing. You're going like 60 and a 30.
Can I do a wheelie?
You do not do a wheelie because you would just immediately eviscerate Aurelio, who's sitting on the back.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Goodbye.
And
His face is in the sand.
you're like all like you cut those turns like super quickly and low to the ground, and you shave off quite a few minutes getting back to Tenby, and
Yay.
you stop abruptly outside the Smith.
We actually lap Barkley.
You lap Barkley. It's possible that you lapped Barkley. There was
We
it
just
was a
pass him
blur
and
of light. You may have beaten Barkley back to Tenby,
Oh my god.
and you're
Flip him
back.
off as we go by.
You're back in front
Yes,
of
I
the
was just typing that.
Oh my god. He would just like be killing you in your sleep at this point.
God.
Alright, yeah,
I hate all of you.
you're back on Main
I
Street.
have no beef with this guy, and you guys are gonna make my reputation with him shit.
You
I hate
see
detonators.
you see Rosemary sweeping with an old fashioned broom outside of her little apothecary's shop.
Then she flies away on it.
The cat comes over to who rolled better animal handling earlier?
Me.
And then it rolls over to Aurelio and starts like rubbing its cheeks up against your shins.
No.
And she waves.
I give Charlie a little pat pat.
Next gets off her bike. I think this thing goes faster than my old one.
Hi,
Abram's hair is a wreck. I see.
Just a little bit of dual chrome for finish. Maybe upgrade a couple other parts and should be good as new.
I like it. Does Aurelio? You have a nice bike. Aurelio's like
Thanks.
hair is just like completely like wind blown back. Like
We look beautiful. Were you sitting backwards?
yeah.
Your
Yep.
hair is forward.
Oh yeah, it's forward.
Good.
A red-headed emo kid.
Yeah. But like only down the center of his face. So it's like between his eyes.
Nix's hair is perfectly windswept.
Perfectly.
Well, anyway, you're standing all in the middle of the main street, and Rosemary waves to you, and the cat's digging at your legs, and it jumps up and tries to scratch down your thigh.
Oh, I love him. Her.
Her name is Charlie.
I love Charlie. I pick her up and give her scratchies before I send her on her way back to her master.
You pick up the cat, you scratch it a few times, then you chuck it at Rosemary, and she catches it deftly.
That's exactly what I
Oh
do.
my god.
No.
Alright, what do y'all do?
I'm going to the smithy. I gotta bust some skulls.
Alright, you walk into the smithy.
I follow with like an not orange, a yellow in my
you
hand,
see-
like munching on it.
I go as well.
You see,
Okay.
the two of you have not met. Oh wait, no, one of you has
I
not met
met.
this people yet. You see the two brothers, both roughly the same size, and they're huddled over something in the back, and they don't hear you guys come in.
Can I now look in the back to see what it was completely?
Nah, they're whatever it was. They're huddling around it, and they're whispering. I'm like, I don't know.
I'm sneaking in
think he'll like
because
it.
I
I'm
want
not
to
quite
sneak
sure.
up behind them.
I don't know if he's
I follow.
Wait.
I want-
He's whispering for real.
I don't know if he's gonna like it, man. I think I'll try again. No, I mean it's fine. It looks good. I love it. Great work. You know, ever since Mom died, I know you've been really self-conscious about your work, and I think you've been doing good. I think this is gonna be a good life for us. You think so? I think so. I mean, you know, Sal's really. This was good. Good decision.
Do I have to roll anything to be standing behind them?
Yes, you do. If you want to like sneak up behind them to the point of like you're just behind them like a goat, like Batman, you have to
I
roll
can't.
stealth.
Abram can.
Batman, that's stealth, right?
Yeah, that would be stealth. By the way, on the way in, you guys saw a closed sign, so they're not expecting anybody to be like in here. As soon as you step up behind them, they like feel like a little like their sixth sense like kicking in, and like the hair on their back raises, and they both just like slowly turn around and look up at Abram,
Jesse.
and they just
He stares down at them.
they're huddling over your sword, which is like sheathed again.
Mhm.
Yeah. All the
Yeah,
rust.
He's just standing there waiting.
Okay. It looks. I don't know what the sword looked like before. If it had any kind of corrosion on it, it's been scraped away. If it had any paint on it, it's been repainted into its original like colors. And they both they just Robertson looks at you, and then he looks at Thomas, then Thomas looks at Robertson, and Robertson looks at Abram, and then Thomas looks back at him, and then they look at each other, and then they both look at you. And then they look at Nix, and then Nix looks back at them, and then Thomas looks at Robertson, and Robertson looks at the sword, and then he picks it up. And then they hold it out to you.
Abram, I hate you. Abram takes it,
You take it.
and he kind of looks at the sheath. He appraises it. He's satisfied, and then he takes the the handle, and he goes to pull it out.
And he stabs them.
He beheads them both and leaves.
Oh my god!
No witnesses. You pull it out, and there is a noticeable change that has been done to the sword. All along the edge is now this perfect perfect length of bright almost white silver, shiny to the point of perfect reflections. And it just now has this new edge running all the way from the bottom ricasso up to the tip. Whereas before it was
Raises
a
an
dark
eyebrow,
steel.
impressed.
Okay.
Yeah. And Thomas, they both follow you with their heads craned forward, looking at the handiwork. And they're like, you see that edge? You could split
Really?
a hair on that edge. Yeah? Yeah. Split a hair 1,000 times.
Aurelio holds out one of his hairs. Do it.
Do it.
Thomas is like, do it. Robertson is like, I'm gonna move.
Abram lets Aurelio test the hair splitting capabilities.
It splits perfectly down the middle of this hair. I believe
Abram is
I believe
impressed.
the sword did 1d6 damage before.
Mhm.
It now does 1d8
One.
plus your
D. Eight. Here it is. Okay. I
yes.
just wanted to-
And if you're using it with both hands, which is to say you've dedicated your entire being to the wielding of the sword and set aside any kind of firearm or shield, you've devoted both hands entirely to the blade. It does 1d10.
Wow.
One D10.
In D&D terms, that's referred to as a versatile weapon. So if you see anything in a rules that says like this weapon is versatile, it means you could wield it with two hands to grant a higher damage potential, or one hand for a slightly smaller damage potential. Either way, it's been upgraded from 1d6.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? Oh, and it still does the other thing that it used to do, right?
Thomas
They
is like,
didn't-
oh,
they
it,
didn't- they
oh, it
didn't
still
break-
does the other thing. It still
They
does the
didn't
other
break
thing.
that.
Great. And Robertson is like, we replaced the capacitors, best battery you've ever seen. Like 20% better efficiency on this thing now. We had no
Abram
idea that
looks
it
at
did
them
that when you dropped it
gratefully.
off. We scared the crap out of each other, and we actually might have burned ourselves a little bit. I nearly shit myself.
Oh. Okay.
Abram puts it back in the shoulder, and he kind of bows his head slightly, not at the waist. He just nods at them.
They both nod back, and they're just like, yeah. Ooh, got to flex our muscles. Is that gonna be all for y'all?
Abram wonders if the others want to upgrade something, since apparently these guys are amazing.
Oh, I take care of my own upgrades. Thanks, though.
Yeah, that's good, girly, because I'm afraid we don't really know too much about the whole, what you got going on there with your arm.
I don't think you can upgrade my things, Aurelio says, looking down at his nail guns.
They look at your, like, compressor, nail gun, personally modified piece of, like, horrifying Frankensteinian technology, and they're like nodding their heads back and forth. They look at each other. Thomas looks at Robertson. They're nodding to each other. They nod back to you. Sorry, kiddo. Sorry, kiddo. We do more like physical labor kind of things. We're farmers by trade. We just kind of knew how to make tools for necessity's sake. We don't know too much about firearms or things like that. And they just kind of point at you.
That's cool. I understand.
You want a sledge? We could sell you a sledge.
A sled?
A hammer, like for hitting posts and don't worry about it.
That does seem like you, Aurelio.
I mean, how big is it?
There's several of various sides on the wall. There's one roughly the size of your forearm, and it looks like a hammer meant for driving nails, and then you see one that's about the size of like your entire arm, and it's just got like a sledgehammer maul like head that looks like it's meant for driving in like stakes into like the ground and stuff like that. Potentially
that.
demolition. Really? Okay. It's not cheap.
How much?
That over there is gonna run you about 10 credits.
I've got 4 yellows.
4 yellows. I'm afraid we don't accept yellows in this establishment, says Robertson.
Aurelio snaps his fingers like, oh dang.
You know what, Aurelio? It'll be here come some other time. You just stop by when you got the funds.
You got it.
The goal for this campaign has been made.
I want to sledge people.
Y'all need anything else? We're closing up shop soon. We were keeping it open for him, but if you don't need anything, then we gotta close at some point.
Abram's
Yeah.
already on the way out, letting them talk.
I'm good.
All right, choose yourself.
What?
Scram. Thomas says.
Oh, okay, bye.
He leaves.
What a couple of good kids. You didn't hear that! And then they shut the door.
God.
You're back
What
out
the
on the
shoes?
streets. Rosemary is still, like, sweeping up on the ground and stuff like that. The lights are coming on. Shops are closing. Nightlife is beginning. You see some taverns a long ways that have lights that are suddenly like springing to life. You see the radio tower like blinking its red light up at the top off in the distance. You see the lights for the local inn run by Gallon.
It's got video games there if you guys want to check it out.
Oh my god. Abram is looking at Rosemary. From afar, where the fuck she is.
I don't have dice. Let's see here.
What do you need dice for?
See if she destroys your soul.
Please God, destroy me.
I don't believe she doesn't notice you.
That's fine. Do you think Rosemary would know about the orb? He's asking the other party members.
There's a possibility.
Good.
But I feel like the chief has been here longer.
Yeah.
Well, we can't find the chief.
Think he might be in one of the taverns?
Does he drink?
Apparently he goes and enjoys the area
Oh,
and
yeah.
the people.
He gets around, quote unquote.
He
Abram
gets
doesn't say that because
around.
he doesn't know that, but, I scream across the street. I hold up the orb. Do you know about this?
No!
Rosemary looks up from her sweeping and looks left and right like a little worried, and then sees you looking at her with like this orb thing.
Holding it up in both hands. It's glowing. It's beautiful.
Well, it's not glowing, but she sees you and she just like kind of like beckons you over, like what?
I have my hand like halfway out to stop Abram before I realize it's too late.
It is too
It's
late.
too late. I'm on the way
It
over.
is too late. You're
I
on
just
the way
walk
over.
over.
All right, you walk over to Rosemary and you hold out this orb to her. You guys are all gathered around, and it does not look any different on Nyx's infrared sensor. It's still like just a gentle temperature. It's always a little bit like cooler than the environment around, and that's like that's a standard. And Rosemary like just kind of looks at it, and like cocks her head, and then cocks her head again, and then like looks really close at it, and she says, "Do you want to like come inside or something if you want to talk about this? I mean, out on the streets just kind of silly to me."
Might be a good idea.
All right, yeah, come in. I'll make tea. And then she
I don't know
takes
if
her.
we'll stay that long. We're looking for the chief as well.
Oh, the chief. Yeah. What time is it? She like pulls out a big like a watch that's like a pocket watch that folds open. It's like the size of her palm, and she flicks it open, and it says like around 7 o'clock, 7:30, more like 8 at this point. She says, "Yeah, he probably is out on the town somewhere. He likes to mingle with people. It's just what he does.
He's wild.
He's not that wild. He weighs like 4 of me. He can handle his liquor. Well, most of the time." Well, anyway, this I don't know, actually. This thing does kind of look a little bit familiar, but I don't really know. I gotta go check some books. Is that alright with you guys? I mean, no matter what, you gotta come in.
Very
Yeah, I
well.
don't mind.
Alright, that sounds good.
Sure.
She opens the door, she sets her broom aside, it flies off into the sky without her, and then you guys go inside. And then she shuts the door behind you. The cat comes in, like, at the last second, like, scraping through, like, the door frame. And then she draws the shades. And now we're going to
Can
take a
I-
break so I can use the bathroom.
Oh. I was gonna crouch to pet the...
Roll animal
Said-
handling.
Pet the cat.
I mean,
Oh.
I actually wanted to stop at 9.
Oh.
Wait, let me do this one thing first.
Okay, roll animal handling.
Oh, like...
You are the new owner of Charlie the cat.
We have a new party member.
This cat lives next to your leg.
I scratch
my
behind
God.
his ears.
That's
I
fine.
rolled the highest
All
out
right,
of all
so
of
you
them.
wanted to end at 9? Never mind then. I guess we'll keep going.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, well then, I mean, she just sits down. She pulls out some books. The reason I also wanted to do this is you'll see. She pulls out some books. She looks through some things, and she doesn't. She's like, I don't really know what the heck this thing. Where'd you find it? Is this just like, what is it? She asks you.
Who's you?
All of you.
Oh.
You as a collective. And now you have this out set on the counter or something, like visible, I'm assuming.
We found it while we were at the ship, the wreckage.
Huh. So that's what was inside of it, huh? And the orb does not do anything besides simply exist. You guys haven't really taken the chance to fully examine it, so I'm going to take that opportunity to more explain it now. And that it's like an off-white eggshell kind of color. It's not pure white. It's not gray. It's like it's white, but not like super mega clean. It's like a little bit dulled almost. To the feeling, it feels like almost like stone, like marble. And as you feel it, you feel like a little bit of a texture, like some kind of grippy feeling, as if it, like stone or marble. It's smooth. It weighs exceptionally heavy for the size that it is, which is a little bit. It's like two hands like put together. It's like, yeah, two fistfuls. But it weighs like, I don't know. It feels like it weighs like 8 pounds. And eventually, she flipped through book after book after book. This thing is featureless. And,
I don't know if this helps at all, but there was a moment while we were in the desert where it shut off every piece of technology that we had.
Really?
It talked.
And it
Rosemary like turns around and looks at you, and she's like, "Wait, what?" It talked.
It talked. It said. I mean, at least it said something that we could hear.
Did it say something about a promise and Light's End?
Yeah.
Looking around in my thing. It said, "Seek ultimate power at the
Light's End." Rosemary finishes with you.
Well, how did you know that?
Because we also heard it here in Tenby. At least some of us did. I did. Some people were talking a little bit about it. We thought it was just like a recording or something playing from the station, some kind of glitched out audio system.
So some people didn't hear it.
Some people didn't hear it. I mean, I don't know. I guess I didn't ask Sal, but did he say he heard it?
He was with us.
Wait,
assume
did he hear
did.
it? Like, out of character, I don't remember. Did he hear it?
I don't remember.
I heard it, Rosemary says.
Who else heard it?
Jacqueline was complaining to me about it. She said that it hurt her ears and that she was worried that it might have been something broken in the station, but we couldn't ask Johan because he's out on a trip. I don't think the cat heard it, though.
Oh my god.
Nick scratches behind his ears.
Meow. Cat goes.
Oh.
So does anyone
What do you
happen?
think? What do you think it means?
I have no idea. I thought it was just this thing did it, and she like gently raises out her hand to it, and like puts it on the orb, and then like her hand slowly just moves around the outside of it, like caressing this thing, and like her eyes are locked on it, and she's silent for a while.
It shut off my entire arm and left eye.
She hears your voice, and she like turns her head towards you, but her eyes stay on the orb, and then eventually she pulls her eyes away through what looks to be considerable effort.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. This thing turned off your electronics. It doesn't look like anything more than just a piece of carved stone. It looks like something that you'd see in my shop.
Which is why I was hoping you'd know something about it.
I don't see anything in these books right now. I mean, you found it in the ship. You guys are scavengers. I mean, if you were willing to sell it or something to me, I wouldn't mind putting it up as a display piece or something. Or
No.
No.
I don't think that would be a good idea until we knew.
Are you sure? I'd really like you guys to reconsider that.
Abram narrows his eyes.
Rosemary, with all due respect, but we're gonna hang on to it for a little while, just until we figure out what it does.
Yeah, that's fine. She like turns away from it and then like pulls her hood down, like not her hood, but her hat, and then she kind of like quickly shakes her head real quick, and she's like, "Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, no, that's fine."
Aurelio, put it back in your bag.
I put it in my basket.
You put it.
Oh
in the
my god,
basket.
Abram puts it in his backpack.
Abram puts it in his backpack.
So
Oh.
nobody can see it.
I was like, I guess I'll put it with the yellows. Don't find it.
Yeah, that's a weird thing. I guess that must be why Lunaris was sent after it. But does that mean that they know what it is?
Perhaps, but I'm not gonna go knocking on their front door and asking.
I wouldn't. Well, I mean, I don't know. I'm a
No,
little worried
you
for you
wouldn't.
guys. Are you sure it's not worth? If it's not more trouble than it's worth?
I think we'll be fine.
Okay, that's fine. I mean,
It
if
may
you,
be in your best interest not to mention to anyone what it was that you saw.
she bites her lip. Can you? That doesn't sit well with her. Do you want to try and roll persuasion or intimidation?
I rolled persuasion.
Intimidation on my end, but
Well,
if Aurelio says
hold-
something.
Unless Aurelia says something, Abram is going to be the one who has to do the roll.
I say, listen, we just
Abram, you should try something too. Because you
we
said you
don't
were-
want
Well, he
you
doesn't.
to get hurt because if Lunaris, we heard that this place, helped being funded by Lunaris, and if anyone else gets the inkling that you've seen something weird that Lunaris might be after, we don't want you to get in trouble for something that we've done.
She looks at Abram, and Abram just has like this dark shadow, like complexion over his eyes. And she just says, "Yeah, I guess you're probably right. It was kind of a weird thing that happened, but I don't know. I guess it was just really really loud, huh? Are you guys okay? Like, no eardrums split or anything? If we could hear it all the way in Tenby, you guys were still like I don't know, like a mile out, or no, maybe not a mile. I don't know how close you guys were, but you were pretty close. But I'm a little concerned for your hearing now."
I mean, I can hear perfectly fine.
Aside from a slight tingle in my arm from when it shut it off, I'm otherwise fine.
Yeah, that's really weird. I don't know, maybe you want to get it x-rayed or something. I don't think you want to crack it open like an egg. That'd probably be a bad idea. Ruin the value. Did you show it to Sal, actually? Maybe he's a scavenger. Maybe he's seen something like it before. Or maybe the chief. I don't know. He really doesn't like this kind of newfangled technology stuff.
I actually gotta head out.
Yeah, that's fine. We can stop there. But
Cliffhanger!
she agrees. That's fine. That's it. I'm gonna hit the stop button. Here we go.